How are you doing today? Welcome to episode 1 of the DT podcast. The name is Work in Progress. We may or may not change it. I'm not sure yet. We have no ideas for the name, but yeah, got my good buddy Trainwrecks here with me. We've got our good list of topics today. I'm not sure if there's a way that I want to incorporate this yet into like the whole like side of the screen. I mean, I can change it on the bottom as we go, but I think basically today we've got like a mixture of kind of, well, not really a mixture. I think it's mainly real boring news and then a little bit of Twitch stuff. We've got the Kellyanne Conway statements about the Trump video. We've got Trainwrecks versus Alinity. We have the Baraboo High School, the Nazi saluting picture. And then we're going to do a little bit about Amazon and the city that they end up picking for their headquarters. And then we'll go through the Reddit thread. We'll kind of pick out questions from there. And then that should be it. I think our goal is to keep these at around like 2-ish hours, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little longer, depending on what's gaining momentum. And yeah, that's what we got scheduled for today. How are you doing today, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing fantastic, man. I was up bright and early. I was excited.
Yeah?
It's been a long time coming, man.
What time do you normally wake up?
Very inconsistent, actually. My goal every day is to be up at like 8 a.m. and like be doing productive stuff by 10 a.m. But no, today I was actually like I was like, let me behave. I want to make Destiny very, very happy. So I'm gonna be punctual, formal, cordial, and on time. So I made
well,
today.
You passed the test, okay? You passed the test. Waking up really early and doing stuff feels really good. I don't typically wake up early, but when you have like multiple items that you've crossed off a list and it's like 11 a.m., it's an interesting feeling.
You know, the small derailer about that, it's the phone, dude. The phone is the worst time sink. If I look at like Twitter or any kind of social media in bed, it's already a trap.
It's you gotta like an hour or two. Yeah, just gone.
Oh, it's so easy. It eats you up, honestly, man. Especially because like, you know, it's like you were asleep. That's 8 hours of internet time. That means shit happened in EU. It's already, you know, it's minimum noon in London or whatever. So it's like, you know, shit's going on the entire time and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, I find best pro strat is to have your phone across the room with an annoying alarm, and then you just like, you go, like, don't even look at it. Don't even open any social media. Just like go. What was if you didn't have a plan of what you were gonna do in your first hour before you passed out, you're already losing because you're succumbable to distraction and derail.
Yeah, something a habit I actually bet from a friend. Instead of waking up in the morning and looking at your phone, like wake up in the morning with a book and just like read a chapter. I can't believe how easy it is to do that if you just wake up and it's just there. I mean, I guess it's still kind of spending 30 minutes or an hour in bed, but I mean, you're reading instead of just going through Reddit on your phone, which is probably good.
No, definitely that. Reading's definitely a very, I forgot the study there about that, but what reading does to your brain compared to just like...
browsing memes?
like because it's the whole thing, right? When you're scrolling through social media, again, it could be Facebook, could be Twitter, could be whatever you're into, honestly, but those are like calculated in a way to keep you in the rabbit hole, like particularly Facebook as well. But we can get to that topic at a deeper time at a later point. But yeah, the rabbit hole is really, really big there, and it's meant to manipulate you on the dopamine, the attention span, and whatnot. Books, not so much.
Reward centers, yeah.
It's like I would almost like want to dub it like eyeball cocaine. That's what Facebook and those things really are. Like they are meant to like keep you wired and hooked and want more and more and more. Books, not so much. Just regular vanilla, I don't know, mental stimulation.
Yeah. I'm sorry, just because I see some people asking. Listen, DT, it just stands for Destiny Tryhacks. That's all I've got right now. We don't have any, we don't have anything more than that. I agree with you about the eyeball cocaine comment. Like, I mean, people get paid millions of dollars to figure out the best way to keep you hooked on those sites and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. So yeah, it's pretty similar, I guess. Yeah. Or maybe eyeball meth or heroin would be a better description.
In a future episode, I would love to actually dive in further into it because there are some I can bring up a couple of there's like one TED Talk. There are some seminars that were done by some ex-employees of Facebook that really they're cutthroat. They go into how really bad it goes. Like if you think the ads that are the modern ads on Facebook now are over targeted, like that you just feel like you're constantly being logged for every little thing you do, every microtransaction. And I mean that both from like cursor duration of pointing on a screen to eyeball tracking, if they could somehow get that going, if they already have at this point. It's crazy, man. They know what they're doing, including some I wouldn't want to call conspiracies here, but like they want the younger generation to be conditioned to these things because it makes them the ultimate consumer. It's like, you know, new age cigarettes. The idea, you know, cigarette companies, you know, back then with their goal was to get kids addicted because they're lifetime consumers.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for these Facebook generation now. Like the Generation Z, they want them as lifetime consumers.
Yeah,
and ultimately in the macro business practice way. So it's
sure.
But yeah,
and then there's a whole host of like negative things that can result from that too, right?
Oh yeah, well we're already seeing it now with the whole I don't know if to really coin it here, but like social dysmorphia, where like I don't know, as I've seen modern teenagers who just like don't even know how to speak really. Like their safety bubble is like is texting and being on their phone, and then IRL it's like they at the last cost. It's like, you know, that's why you're seeing the whole thing about ripping on millennials, because millennials hate interacting with people. But like it's really Generation Z that's really all about like avoiding people entirely.
Yeah,
but it's not like old man right now though. But I mean,
no, there's definitely problems with it.
The difference here is, y'all, a little bit minor context here. I was a waiter for 8 years prior to streaming, like Destiny is right now, full time. And I can back it up with the personal experience. So.
Okay, well, that was our first non-topic. Okay,
it happens.
I can't believe the Kellyanne Conway statements. I actually hate this woman with the entirety of my existence. I feel like she's like literally a propaganda machine. Like every time she opens her mouth, it's to tell some lie that's like actually so ridiculous, it's actually unbelievable.
They have their own entertainment value because of how absurd. But yeah, you're not kidding. She is peak Trump administration, to say the least.
Yeah. So just to do you want to summarize her statements on the video stuff related to Acosta?
Sure. Yeah. Well, first, just to make sure everyone's on the same page here, Kellyanne Conway, if you don't know, this is the lady who dubbed the famous phrase here, alternative facts, which just like. So it's a fact. A fact's objective. Is how can you make an alternative fact? But you know, I don't know. Labeling and semantics aside here, what happened in the video was Jim Acosta. There was I forgot. There was a press screening going on, and he was really adamant about pushing Trump to for following up questions on like the Russia probe and some other stuff here. Again, forgive me, I forget exactly what Trump was commenting on at the particular press conference that happened a couple days ago. But he was like really pushing on him to like answer the question on behalf of CNN because he was reporting there at the time, and of course, you know, Trump in typical fashion was just going on and on with some like face value, shallow insults to him, because the question that he was asked about, you know, how do you feel on the current status of the you know, Mueller investigation or the Russia probes? Do you believe them? You know, just some basic stuff, right? And Trump was like, "You're fake news. You're a disgrace to the network," and just really nailing it on some like really just shallow.
Basically,
insults.
Everything Trump standardly says about CNN.
Yeah. And then when Trump like deemed that, you know, you're done. No follow-up questions here. You're done. Get off. He demanded to get off here. One of the White House, I don't know her name here. One of the administrative assistants or whatnot was trying to physically grab the microphone from him to like get him off, but he was like holding it with like two hands, holding close to his chest, and the cord to the microphone got caught and tangled. And when he was trying to untangle it, it looks like he was batting his hand at her, like out of context, but obviously that wasn't the case because the microphone got caught up and whatnot. And so that this whole moment here where like his hands like coming out, trying to like supposedly smack her away so he can continue to hold the microphone to continue to follow up questions and whatnot. So that happens. And you fast forward to later on when this incident happens out of context. There was some doctored footage here where the whole hand caught tangled in the microphone wire is sped up, but only in the moment where, again, the hand looks like it's about to hit her or whatever, or, you know, or the hand's coming towards her because the microphone got tangled at that time. So it's only sped up in this little small portion to make it look like, you know, oh, the hand wasn't tangled by the wire. It was him trying to smack her away or whatever, like, and whatnot.
Yeah, so it was basically, there were like a few frames it was a very deliberate thing. I've seen a lot of people say things like, a lot of people are saying things like it was a compression artifact, or, you know, it was just something like, no, I don't think I've seen anybody credible review the video. I think The Independent did a pretty good investigation and comparison of it. Dr. Disillusion chimed in, who's a guy that, you know, specializes in online video editing and kind of debunking kind of fake videos online. You know, everybody chimed in. It's pretty much ubiquitously agreed upon that the video was edited in a very specific way, that there were certain frames that were cut out of the video in order to give you the impression that the exchange was actually more violent than it really was. The scary thing about this this. I mean, there's multiple levels of things that really bother me here. We haven't even gotten to Kellyanne Conway's comments yet, but like the fact that it was doctored in such a subtle way is scary, because I'm used to the Trump administration, I guess, engaging in or propagating lies that are obviously not true. Like, I had the biggest audience of all time, or 3 million illegals voted, or like generally they say things that are just like insanely ridiculous. This was a lot more subtle, and I think kind of more insidious in that way too. Not to say that they even did the video editing. You know, apparently it originated from Infowars is where people are saying it came from. But
shocker. It could. I knew it was some extreme right-in outlet, because why else would they do it?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the story's not done yet, by the way. So right, doctor footage happens, makes the hand look like it was actually like, you know, combative or, you know, oppressive and whatnot. And then, so then Kellyanne Conway is on Fox News. I think this was like 3 days ago, and she gets called in to get called out. You know, because she's the White House spokesperson or whatever at this point. I forget exactly what her press credential is anyway. And she's called out about it. Hey, this footage is doctored. Into which her reply is, oh no, it's not. It's sped up. And so in her eyes, like she openly defends it on national television as, if I alter the footage and for it to be sped up, that's okay. That's not doctored.
She's got to have she's got to spend a lot of time working on this. Like, it's not fake news. It's alternate facts. Like, it's not altered. It's sped up. Like,
we're not even there yet. No, the punchline here, you would think that's already like peak stupidity, but no, it gets even dumber. The rabbit hole gets deeper here. Her defense of that reasoning is that because in sports, they speed up footage all the time for when they're reviewing plays and touchdowns and whatnot. So it's just like, you think that they actually replay like questionable like calls in fast motion, like in 2x? Like
maybe she's talking about if I'm being ultra super generous, I think the term is overcranking, where you capture something at a higher frame rate so that when you slow it down for playback, it still looks normal. I don't know.
You're giving her so much credit.
I'm not sure.
It's so
I don't know. Yeah, but no,
like
she's...
particularly in NFL, when they got the little review booth with the curtain over for privacy and whatnot, or noise isolation and like and everything else here. It usually it's a little volume dial that you can like literally play it at the speed that you tethered to your wrist rotation, so you can just kind of like rewind, come back and forward, and really see if, like, you know, the legs are inbound or whatever. That it's point is, it's slow mo. They slow it down to further analyze the footage at a slower rate. Yeah, maybe captured at a higher frame rate, but that's way beyond. That's way beyond giving her even the plausible reach on knowing that what she's talking about there.
Yeah, not to mention, just to be very, very, very clear, the whole video that was doctored and posted on the White House press secretary account on Twitter, right, which is where I believe it was posted, was not sped up. It was selectively. There was a very specific part where if you try to sync it up with the original video, there is a very specific time when it becomes desynced, and then it only happens during that one particular time, and then the rest of the video carries on like normal. So that's why it wasn't a compression artifact. It's not something that you see appearing throughout the video. It wasn't just sped up because it only happens at that particular time, and then it doesn't happen again. Like, it was very clearly doctored to sell a particular agenda.
Whoa, Destiny, chill out. Now, hang on, wait, listen, okay. Yeah. I'm running an i3 processor on my little turd 2005 Mac Mini.
With your Adobe Premiere running.
My Adobe Premiere Pro hiccuped. It's common, okay. I ran into some RAM throttle, and it just happened to just shit out that one point.
Maybe at that particuar exact point.
I'm sorry. Look, I'll fire the intern. My bad. I didn't catch it. You know, I'm busy doing White House shit right now. I'm sorry. I can't monitor every little thing coming out of the White House press release. Okay.
Not to mention, why wouldn't they just use their own footage? Why would they be using a video that came from Infowars? Why would the White House have anything to do with Infowars? Like, you have C-SPAN. I'm sure there are people within the White House that are capable of doing this kind of stuff. Like, why? I'm sure they've got like their own staff. Why not just get a little clip made from the C-SPAN footage? Why the fuck would you go to Infowars and take from their shit? Oh my God, there's like,
I don't know. When you got Sean Hannity getting called every night from Trump personally, when you got like just this like the Fox News White House, I don't know, honestly. I agree with you. I actually really want to look further into the whole thing, because supposedly not only does Trump not personally do all of his tweets, there are even times where there are tweet authors, I'm saying that word right, who try to write tweets as if Trump would do them, but it's not by Trump himself. Like, they need to get out this like one news announcement, and they find that it's better, they get better reach in numbers and just general higher positivity from their own base by emulating the Trump style of tweeting. So supposedly there are people in the White House who emulate a style on purpose. And I'm kind of curious of what that dynamic is like here. Like, what's the intended draft message, and then how do you like dumb it down to being like a Trump approved or Trumpism kind of thing?
Something that is kind of scary to me. I don't know. Have you ever noticed this trend that there are certain people on Twitter? Maybe this is just because of the degenerates that I deal with that try to like emulate Trump's style of tweeting, where it's oftentimes like the one like dumb statement followed by some type of adjective with an exclamation mark. So it's something like I heard that this blah 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 is going on Twitter. Real sad, and like sad or pathetic, like, and then like with a capital. Have you ever seen people that do this?
No.
No,
I don't go in the rabbit hole, honestly. Should I? You tell me your answer. I don't. The whole. I hear that there's a lot of rampant toxicity. I hear a lot of complaints on Twitter that are attacked at the owner Jack. And it's just like, yo, get rid of the Nazis. Why are there so many people who are verified who are literally like neo-Nazi or just like whatever? And it's like, so I don't know. I don't go on that end. You have to tell me more about that actually.
Gotcha.
But
it's some of the
I
people
didn't know
that
that they were emulating Trump style. Now
I mean, that Jacob Wool kid was one of the people that did it. That guy that tags on all of Trump's tweets at the end, or did. The guy the youngest hedge fund manager. I don't know if you've ever seen.
I recall this now. Yeah, there was a point where I used to go like to the daily Trump thread of whatever he's tweeting about and just see what all the shit is down there. But I'm so done with that now. Like that was a 2017 meme. I moved on at this point.
Yeah.
Like, my time's not worth like going down those anymore. Like, I'll read about the thing covering about the tweets, but I don't particularly go to his Twitter on a daily basis anymore to see what he's saying.
All right, yeah. I mean, Kellyanne Conway. Whew. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. The big Twitch news, the big event on Twitch, the big drama for the past week. Trainwrecks and Alinity. What is there to say? There's a lot that could be said here. Man, oh man. What can we say without getting banned from Twitch? That's the real question.
Well, I'm gonna need you to help me out here actually, because I'm not completely in the know. Like I know what's been accused. I know what the headlines say, but I don't want to be the average internet citizen here. I want to dive in further here. So you have to give me like a summarization of what exactly, who accused who of what, and what was said since then, before we get into anything further.
So, Alinity made, I think while she was talking to her stream, she made comments. Well, not I think. She was talking to her stream. She basically made two big comments initially, and her two big comments were that Trainwrecks had told her at one point, she said that Trainwrecks said that he wanted to rape her, and then she said that she made an allusion to him going to hit her at an event, but it might have been that there was a mic thing. And that,
wait, hit her or hit on her?
I heard hit her, but a lot of people were saying with the clip that it was hit on her. So it might have been hit on her, but it was kind of hard to tell. I don't know if the mic like flubbed at that point or whatever. I'm going to assume that it was hit on her. But yeah, okay. Basically, she accused him of making these kinds of comments. Trainwrecks. I don't think Trainwrecks immediately came out and denied anything, although I would imagine he would deny it. But before like the official Trainwrecks response was given, people started to dig through his logs on Twitch and found. Have you seen or heard about any of this stuff?
No, wait. How do you dig through logs? How? Like, what does that even mean? Like, are you able to like? Because what you're saying here is like,
be careful. Yeah. So basically, a long time ago, I had a couple fans start a project. Not at my behest or anything, but it's called Over Russell Logs, where basically what you did was like if I interacted with a streamer, they would park a bot in their channel and just record the text and then dump it to a website. And their project has grown significantly, and there are a lot of like major Twitch streams that are now recorded on this website called Over Russell Logs. And what you can do is you can track like particular users across chats to see things they've said. And yeah, a lot of people were digging through Trainwrecks' logs and a lot of girl streamers' chats. And there's a very particular trend of the things that he says. Oh, wait, have you not seen any of these pictures?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not in the know. I actually know very, very little about the entirety of what's been developing since then. Like, all I know is Lenny said a thing, the clip went viral. Train eventually gave an official reaction or official comment on someone's Reddit. I don't know where it was exactly, but and then that got quoted in some other reportings of the incident, including but not limited to Kotaku. And then I don't know where we are right now.
Oh man.
So that's what I know. So I didn't know that So okay, we don't have to get specific here if you don't want to. But what what was the trend concluded from the or if you want to, I am curious of what he said, I guess, and or whatever.
Sure, I don't want to like I'm not trying to like rehash a bunch of stuff, but I guess just to kind of like bring up a couple things, you'll get the general idea. So like Trainwrecks in one of their chats, like, that's actually such a good idea. I'm going to steal something from every big streamer at TwitchCon and make so much money. I'll start with Jenna's panties. Oh shit, did I type that out loud? Like, basically, more or less comments like that in the dozens in like a ton of other girl streamers chats. And then things like, hey, we should meet in California, I'll buy you dinner. And then sometimes more explicit things past that. But basically, people started digging through like a ton of his Twitch logs in response to the Alinity drama, partially because a lot of people were looking to see if he actually said anything in Alinity's chat, and then also partially just because of memes, I guess, to find out if people could shit on Trainwrecks. But yeah, a bunch of people went through these. There were a couple of threads on live stream fails that kind of went big, and then people that kind of people memed on. I think what's the guy's name? Pantera? Who's the guy from Attack? From like Attack of the Game, the G4 guy. Do you know what I'm talking about? He does a podcast now.
I haven't watched Attack of the Game in a long time, so
yeah,
I might know what he looks like, but I don't recall tethered to names though.
Yeah, shoot, I wish I could. But he did a podcast, and they were kind of going over some of the logs, and some of them were a little. It's not Pantera. I'm sorry. Oh, Kevin Pereira, maybe. I might be slaughtering his last name there, but or Pereira. Oh yeah. But yeah, they were going over some of his logs too, where he was basically making similar comments, and then. A lot of people were obviously critical of Alinity because the way that she brought it up and everything, a lot of people were accusing her of just kind of like drama baiting. But then she posted excerpts of logs.
Yeah, can we pause here, actually? Mm-hmm. What provoked her to bring up, actually?
I don't know. I think someone in chat just mentioned something. I don't think there was a big thing that happened, though. I didn't see... I looked at that. I looked for that for a little bit. But I didn't see like any major provoking moment. Like there wasn't like a drama thing or whatever. It just seemed like someone in chat brought something up and she started talking about it. But... yeah, but after that happened, people started going through logs. Trainwrecks made, I think, a denial, and then Alinity started to post logs from her DMs, but they were the pictures were very small. Like one was like 2 lines, and it said something along the lines of, "Hey, I'll see you at BlizzCon. Make sure to bring a pair of panties," or something, or it was like something related to panties, like some other comment that he had seemed to have made on a lot of other girl chats. And so it was hard to tell from the logs posted if they were messing around or not. But I mean, Alinity obviously claims they weren't. Some people are saying she should post more. Trainwrecks now says he is a lawyer and he's not allowed to talk about it. But
wait, what was that? Wait, Trainwrecks is lawyered up now and can't talk about it.
Says he is. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, that's his statement now. So.
Statement now, like after the accusation.
Correct.
Okay. That's fair. So far, one thing I do want to bring about Train does go for some like really hard. I would dub it like hard read sarcasm, where it's like, I don't know, like when you in text.
So I sent
form,
you real quick, but just before you end up with your foot in your mouth, I sent you a link to like some of the DMs that she posted. I understand what you're about to say, but yeah.
Oh no, it's not necessarily negative.
Sure.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. Just that's the DMs that she posted on Twitter. I guess I should read these out if people are just listening, or you can't see it on screen. Yeah. So like he sent a message saying, "Hey, going to TwitchCon, bring extra panties, you'll need them." And then after no response from that, 3 months later, he sends her a message saying, "Do you have Snapchat?" But yeah.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he goes for some hard read sarcasm, and in plain text form, there's like a tone that gets a little bit lost there. I'm just like, where it's like, yeah, that does seem questionable. But then having been on the podcast before and knowing him, I know like I can like add a tone inflection to what he's typing. And I'm like, okay, I know how he would say that. Mm-hmm. It's still, at minimum questionable. Right, but like I know I can see at times where we're trying to get at right there, but that's not a complete defense though. Yeah, that's pretty yikes.
Yeah, I'm not too. Yeah, just I don't want to harp on it too much.
Yeah,
some of these logs. Let me know when you're on the market. We're going to an expensive dinner, and I'm fucking you in a Nordstrom dressing room. Then once at my house and twice at yours. Just sarcasm, but yeah, I don't know if Oh, that Just Dark has, by the way, but that was an edit comment. But yeah, there's a lot of these comments that he's made like in different girls' chat rooms. Although a lot of these were like 2 years ago as well. I don't think he was as big of a streamer back then. I think it was still like just a few hundred viewers. But
even then, if the roles were reversed here, it's like, man, you have like if you're gonna. Lenny wasn't even small 2 years ago though. Like you're not hitting for the. If he was smaller then and hitting on girls like this back in the gap, it's like. I look at him like, dude, the DMs are not confidential, bro. What are you trying to even do, man? Like, DMs get exposed real quick. You get called a thirst lord the minute that you try to go something out of your league, whether it be very vague term right there for the ultimately the fan base that's active on the aggressors and whatnot. Yeah, they'll call you out, dude. They'll, man, oh yeah. So, I guess he's got some big kahunas to do that in the first place. I certainly wouldn't have done that, but yeah, that's a little bit iffy here. But what so where are we at now then? So
I'd say, well, right now, basically he said he's suing her. I don't know if there's any meat to that. And then either them
suing for a defamation. Like what's the claim here?
I guess, but yeah, I don't.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, that's probably not going anywhere. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Interesting that Twitch, I guess there's a few key takeaways here, a couple interesting things. So the first thing is anything you say in public, this is actually something that, so like, here's something I feel very strongly about. I don't have rules in my Discord against recording the room because I think the rules are misleading. I think that anytime you're speaking in a public room with people that you don't know, you should always expect you're being recorded. I think in this day and age, you should just always expect that. Don't expect any rule set to save you. I mean, how many times have you heard, or maybe you haven't, but I've heard a lot of funny clips on the internet from my Eve days and then from even more recent times that start off with like, nobody better be recording this, or no one is allowed to be recording. And it's like, that's when you know it's going to be some good shit. So like, I would assume that everything you're saying is going to be recorded. If you're typing stuff into a public chat room, I mean, like the angel version of me is saying, don't do bad stuff like this because it's going to be caught. The devil version of me is saying, if you're going to do this shit, at least do it on a fucking alternate account that can't be traced back to you because goddamn, people are logging every piece of information that's out there these days. Like, you got to be fucking careful. Holy shit, guys. Do this shit don't do this shit, okay? I'm going to say that right now. Just don't do this kind of shit because it will be fucking found. That's the first major takeaway. The second major takeaway, or I guess like the second thing that warrants examination. I don't know Alinity enough to know whether or not whether her claims are true or false, or if she has a habit of doing this or whatnot. Intrinsically, I feel bad. I don't want to like discredit like, oh, like this person's saying something, I'm immediately not going to believe them, blah, blah, blah. Although it's kind of weird the way that she's like posting select logs and the way that she brought it up, I feel like was done kind of irresponsibly. Like I think there are good ways to kind of like bring attention to this kind of stuff. I don't know if like offhandedly mentioning things on stream like that is the best way to do it. It seems like I don't know if I want to say flame bait, but like it seems like really inflammatory. Like if I'm just on stream and I just offhandedly mention like, oh yeah, by the way, like X person, is threatened to sexually assault me, and then today we're going to be playing StarCraft. It just seems like kind of like a weird way to kind of address an issue like that.
Yeah, no, you're not kidding there. I guess we should also bring up here. I do remember reading Train's official response at one time, like once past, and I remember recalling him saying that he, according to his reporting of when she initially threw out the accusation, she said that he wanted to rape me, and then she like in some way when she was asked to clarify that statement at a later point in that stream or later that week, she kind of backpedaled on it and was like made it like not, the claim wasn't explicitly rape. She had like a rape-ish tone or inflection from what he said.
Sure.
So according to Train, there was a accusation of backpedaling a little bit when she had to like commit to what her wording was initially.
Yeah, something that's kind of I guess like we can this conversation like very clearly sits within a greater context of what's going on in society right now, right? Because you can obviously draw a lot of parallels between like this and kind of like Me Too movement stuff.
Right.
What I'm curious. Do you think that Twitch is an appropriate platform at all for these kinds of things? And the story that I would actually circle back to on this is I would argue that something very similar to this happened a long time ago when Gross Gore, remember when Grossy Gore accused Crepo of being into teenage girls?
Yes.
Yeah, and he didn't actually even he kind of made an accusation, but I think the way that he phrased it was something along the lines of like, oh, and like I've heard stories about Crepo being into, teens or whatever, something like that. It's interesting that he got Was that what his 12-month ban was for? Do you remember?
I don't know the details actually.
Okay, I don't remember if that was the 12-month or if something else happened. But it's interesting that he made that comment and he got, I think it was a 12. He got a 12-month bot for that. It might have even been an indefinite suspension, and then he recently got unbanned. But yes, indefinite promo. I'll call it an indefinite since at Twitch it seems like you can usually come back after a year. But after that happened, it seemed like Twitch very clearly, you can't do stuff like this. But then I think when Trainwrecks told me that when he approached Twitch staff,
just to clarify, he got the ban because of baseless accusation, or because
I think. Well, because Twitch doesn't comment on bans, so I can only go by right. What Rossi has said. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was for the basic accusation against Crepo, and then, but now with Trainwrecks and Alinity, Twitch is saying there is no that it's not their job to police anything. That it's a he said she said kind of thing. So I guess my question is, do you think that Twitch is kind of like an appropriate platform for that kind of stuff? Should Twitch do anything to step in on it? Generally, you're not allowed to harass other streamers, right? If I were to go onto my stream and I were to say, really nasty, horrible things about Alinity that cause people to go into her chat room and flame her, I would be held responsible for that. Rightly so. I think that's an okay policy. You don't want larger streamers or any streamer really bullying other people. But how could you not? Couldn't you argue that Alinity is kind of doing the same thing here? Is it a little bit differently because it's an accusation of a crime?
No, I agree. No, so pause there. One, I do think how she handled it was obviously very, very poor, because you're right. It's no small accusation, and to just make it a nonchalant comment and then not make it like a formal, prepared, let me throw out, it's like accusation first, documentation and proof second is what happened there, right? She only had throw out the proof and shit after it was already after the clip went viral and then accusations were thrown out there, and then you got both armies flaming each other until something had to move on to a more formal platform, right? Yeah. So yeah, definitely should, if you're going to pull that card, make sure that you are at least doing the accusation properly, I would say, certainly. And then two, is Twitch the right platform? They have such spotty enforcement. Like you're saying here, if you reverse the roles and it was a male doing this to a female as opposed to Alinity accusing a Train here, I feel like there would be enforcement happening. And that's not me saying a reflection of my beliefs in the situation. That's just the inconsistency of the enforcement, I feel, has been questionable, to say the least, for a while now. So is Twitch the right place to do that? No, I guess, or not a very effective one. Let's say if I was, sexually whatever, right, and I want to make an accusation that's going to be pretty strong on someone big, my go-to would probably be to go to social media as opposed to do it to drop it in video format on Twitch or even YouTube. Give it static wording, that way the wording, there's no, you can't misinterpret the words.
Yeah, and you want everything kind of formalized and whatnot, right, when you're making an accusation like that,
Yeah. That's what I think I would do at that time. Yeah, and then from there, we would then follow up with video formats of me reacting, or X person reacting to what I said formally on. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, people are kind of bringing up the Black situation as an analogous to this. Weren't those accusations kind of more formally made on Twitter and whatnot, though? Or am I incorrect on that?
Ooh. So here's the thing about that, man. All the juice right now. Here's the really problematic thing there is when you lock the account, wait,
what account got locked?
Oh, he locked it. He private. I'm saying the lock icon appeared next to his Twitter.
Are we talking on Twitter? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. When he was at RuneFest that weekend, is that where he was at that weekend? I'm pretty confident it was RuneFest. Same weekend that the whole gross score thing happened. His Twitter became private during that weekend, on Saturday, on day 2, and his Twitter's been very, very quiet since then, from what I've seen. So it's just with, at least on Twitter, no official reaction to any of that stuff, and I'm just oh, okay, well. Then again, I haven't been following it hardcore. So
you didn't see his stream?
No.
This is the best stream of all time.
Ooh, well, I mean, fill me in, man. What happened?
Basically, several people, and I'd actually heard a lot about this behind the scenes before people became formal with it. I guess because I've kind of tangentially know that group of people. I know a lot of people that are related to that group of people, and I've heard a lot of things. But basically, Black said he was going to do, what did he call it? A tell-all stream, or he was going to do a truth stream or reveal stream. And so he turned on his stream. he left like the starting soon screen up or whatever, and this screen was on stream for like, it was like 20 to 40 minutes. It was just sitting there, and then explaining everything might have been the title. Sitting there for like 40 minutes, and then finally he comes on stream, and you can't see my camera, but like he is like very nervous. He's like bopping, and he looks at the camera, and everybody's waiting. There's like 2,000, 3,000 people, I think, in his chat.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there's like a lot of people waiting for this. A lot of people, right? And then all of a sudden, so we're all waiting, like, oh shit, like here it comes, like the big memes. Fuck, I wish I could remember exactly what he said, but he looks at his other monitor because it's very clear he's like reading a script, and he's like, I've been told by my counsel that I'm not going to be discussing anything. All the accusations against me here are false. And thanks for tuning in, guys. And then he shuts his stream off.
What?
It was like a 30 to 40 minute wait, I think. And then he comes out and he makes it like 40-second statement, and then he cuts the stream. Oh man.
Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, at face value, what I would interpret about that, if I was the viewer there, is like he's scrambling off like during the mic muted on the startup screen, splash screen, to just like talking back and forth with like whoever's on his side and or lawyer person if he has one, and just like probably like hardcore bailed on his initial plan, which all the view count was going to be really fat and all his work's going to be massively accounted for.
Yeah, maybe. So, I don't even know. I kind of wonder if he wanted to say more, but he like got really scared. It was obvious, like you got uncomfortable watching him in that video, and he was very, very, very nervous.
Well, not only that, when you put your Twitter on private from accusations, like on that weekend, it's like, I mean, there's a plausible defense there that, you know, it's stressful, you don't want to get tagged, you don't want to be seen, you know, it's making you have anxiety, ruin your entire trip and whatnot. So I get that you want to unplug a little bit because it's a very negative thing on your phone, right? But it's like, man, dude, in the macro picture, man, that looks pretty iffy, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it sucks. I mean, because it's kind of like innocent or guilty until proven innocent, but
yeah. But it also too is, you know, it's because it's the internet. You know, the perception's very black or white. It's very rarely people have time to even give into the nuances of a situation. So it's like when you go private, it seems like you have something to hide.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, the correlations, while it's not deep, it's definitely like, you know, implicit. So
I guess to kind of like wrap this up, to bring both of these together. Maybe there's a conversation to be had here about responsibly talking to women online, since a lot of people seem to not understand how to do it.
Do you find this common actually?
Yeah,
like
especially among male streamers. Yeah, holy shit.
So men DMing women streamers is a very, very not at face value in the big picture here is toxic usually.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say usually because I don't have like a data set to say how many. And it's more likely that I'll see the bad interactions than the non-bad ones because of people that I'm friends with. But like, I mean, like, it's not bad to sexually solicit people. I mean, like, if that's your thing and you think that might be their thing. But man, you got to do it in a way where you don't come off as like super creepy and incredibly overbearing, and especially not in real life when people aren't. When people aren't necessarily comfortable to say no to you. Like if you're a guy and you're with a girl and you're at an event, if you guys are alone, it's probably not like and you don't have like a romantic relationship at all, it's probably not an appropriate time for you to be like sexually overbearing, you know, like these are very awkward circumstances. Are you okay?
Yeah. My dog's just barking at UPS, something like that.
Okay. I'm just gonna close the door. Be careful, I don't want to add you. I don't want you to be the topic of my next week's podcast. So fucked up.
No, it's not.
Fuck. We could have added that the black security guard guy.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have to look into that one further. I only know the headline basics of it, actually.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, I'm sorry. Just try to be a little bit more responsible. I guess I'm speaking to like a very select few people. Most of them don't care at all. But like, fuck, like, yeah, male streamers seem to fuck up quite a bit.
My takeaway here, y'all, is you all know who Keemstar is, so you know that, you know, from all of his sensationalism, that DMs are not confidential in 2018. DMs stopped being confidential in 2015, honestly, when all the 2016 YouTube drama was going on, every other month was another YouTuber, ex-YouTuber drama.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta look at this, boys. Like DMs are not confidential. You should always, every social media should be used and responded to and conducted communication as such that it could get leaked one day.
Yeah.
Period. Always.
Yep. And then
and then go off the radar.
Yeah.
Period.
And more importantly, like just chill on, like don't just chill on. Protect women. Okay. We should all love women. If you want to like sexually solicit people, that's fine, but like be chill with how you do it. And if somebody says no, respect that they say no. Move on to your next target, or however you figure out like who you're gonna go after next for your shit. Like don't be insane about like trying to like pressure women into doing shit. Like
don't chase the girl. It's not a challenge. I think that communication there has been very transparent since Me Too. So
yeah. Okay. The next thing is am I pronouncing this right? Baraboo High School. That's the Nazi picture kids.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah. I don't actually know how it's pronounced personally, and I am.
Someone in chat.
This is another one where I'm minimally in the know about. I only saw the picture. I need to look further into it. I couldn't believe it, actually. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was like a skit trying to go viral or something, but apparently, fill me in here.
Yeah, so basically there's just some high school picture that was taken of a bunch of kids kind of looking like they were doing a Nazi salute. Yeah, and I think if you zoom in, you can see one kid doing the little like OK sign. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, the OK white power sign.
Yeah.
Which is that? Okay, let's pause there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I never actually got clarification there. Is that actually a white power thing, low key, or is that like?
I think initially it was. Like, so I think there's always like three phases to these things. Initially, it has nothing to do with white power at all, and then it ends up getting co-opted by like crypto fascists that start using it for white power. But then like a bunch of like edgy people will start adopting it ironically and saying, "Oh, look, it has nothing to do with white power." Of
course, yeah.
And that's usually like the phase that these kinds of things go in, you know. So there are probably a lot of people now that do it, and they're like, "Oh, what? LOL, it's just an edgy meme. Like, fuck off." And then on the backs of that, like the crypto fascists are like, "Yeah, just a meme, bro, right?" And then you get things like this happening, and it's like, yeah. But yeah, there were a lot of messages flying around. I think one of the kids, one of the messages was like, "We even got the black kid to do it," and apparently there've been a lot of reports going around that there was a lot of racist behavior at the school, and now it's kind of like blown up into a larger story.
So, can we pause here? Okay, so first thing first, this high school, right?
Yeah.
Where's the high school at? What state was this in? Because I think region's important to know for a contextual.
I'm gonna guess probably not like in Washington, but let's.
Oh, wait, okay.
Probably more
in
okay.
Not that big deal if we don't know.
Okay, Wisconsin. Okay.
Wisconsin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. And this was recent. Is this picture just come out, or this happened like recently?
That's actually a good question.
Again, not important if we don't know the details.
Yeah, it's the class of 2019. I'm going to assume the picture was recent, but I guess I don't necessarily know that. People are saying 2 days ago. I know this one was reported on, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the picture came out like just a few days ago. I'm assuming it's recent. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I don't have the picture in front of me here, but if I recall correctly, were there any black students in this picture?
Yeah, there's one in like the
one kid in the far right. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I couldn't tell if he was or not. Okay. All right, so they're doing the sig heal, and I don't know. That interesting here. I don't. Is there more do we know about this here? Like, were any students ever interviewed and asked like why they did that, or like do they even know what that meant? Like, was it like a dare from like one kid who thought it was cool? Like, what
I don't know if any of them have made public comments on it.
Also, I'm sorry, I pronounced that terribly. I apologize here again. I didn't know how to go at it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regularly consume German dialogue, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, just looking at like a Wisconsin site, the Baraboo High School principal did not return a call and email. As Baraboo High School students let out Monday afternoon, many students declined to talk to reporters. Staff overseeing students load buses said they had no comment. Junior Alyssa Sievert said students talked about the photo all day long. It was chaos all day, she said, noting that some people were concerned about the boys in their photo and their upcoming graduation. She said she hadn't noticed any problem with the culture at the school, which has been questioned on social media. She said she was surprised and confused about why the picture was taken in the first place. I don't know if there was a comment coming from any of the people that took the pictures about why they had taken the photographer told them to make a salute, and they did that one. That's what some people are saying in chat, so I don't know if that's true or not, but
I don't know, man. I what's crazy now is I feel like high schools and just general school culture and climate is very, very different post 2016 election. Because I recall like the racial induced vandalism being much more. I don't know if it actually increased, but definitely got reported more often. Was more vocal because of just how like blunt it was all around and whatnot. So things etched into like certain restroom stalls or in the restrooms, certain things etched onto desks and whatnot, just more racially induced things that I saw reported in mass after the election.
Yeah,
more of that kind of behavior was normalized. So I've obviously haven't been in high school in a while for myself here, but I am. It wouldn't surprise me that this gets a little more normalized and or just like, I think back to even when I was like 16 and I was like an edgy cringe lord to an extent, honestly. So
yeah, like this is, I guess, like it's kind of a, well, before we get into this, let me read this real quick. So I posted,
Sure.
I need this part of my overlay where I can view images. Maybe I'll get that next, but I sent you a link to the tweet, and then I'll post it in the chats. But
Gotcha.
This I think Vice reporter said, I spoke with the only student who was visibly not comfortable with the salute. He provided this statement, and then they show a picture of the kid, and then they show the statement that he made. My name is Jordan Blue. I'm the boy captured in the photo to the far right. The photo was taken during our junior prom photos. I'm clearly uncomfortable with what was happening. I couldn't leave the photo as it was taken within 5 seconds. The photographer took the photos, telling us to make the sign. I knew what my morals were, and it was not to salute something I firmly didn't believe in. I attended BHS. These classmates have bullied me since entering middle school. I've struggled with it my entire life. Nothing has changed. These are the boys of the class of 2019. Nothing's been done, and my question is, will anything ever be done? I think, will anything ever be done? I truly and firmly believe we need to make a change to this horrible act. It needs to stop. Bullying, immaturity, and just taking things as a joke. ...
Yeah. Why so serious?
Yeah. It sucks because, like, on one end, oh, man, it sucks because it's like you said, you were an edgy high school kid. Like, I probably would have done jokes like this for sure, guaranteed. If they're, man, I'm so glad. How old did you say you were?
Not only
again?
that,
You're kind of a
not
little
only
bit,
that,
right?
peer pressure, man. You don't want to be the only one.
Yeah.
I'd even go further to say it because he was in the corner, and there, like his impact was minimalized in the picture, so he was able to stand up and do that. But yeah, high school I had trash insecurity, trash.
How old were you in high school again, or how old are you now?
29.
Okay, 20. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so we're the exact same age. If there would have been social media back then, I guarantee you there would have been pictures of me like this. 100% of doing things like Nazi salutes and shit. Guaranteed. And I know one black friend too at my school that I could have gotten to do it with us too, just because we always like did like really fucking edgy dumb humor like that.
Yeah.
It sucks that like today, I don't know what I would have my official position be like. Should you ever joke like this or not? Like, I mean, I lean towards you should. I'm a big comedy dude, and I think you should be able to joke about all things. But it's so hard in this day and age because it's like I don't know anymore. Back then, and maybe it's just because it's more visible now. But like back then, if me and my friends were doing like Nazi salutes, I would figure like, okay, yeah, it's just us being edgy. But these days, I don't know anymore. Like, I don't know when I see someone do it. Like, are you actually a fucking Nazi? I'm not actually sure, dude. Like, oh god, it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, the hard reads on anyone's definitive stance on things is kind of hard to discern now. But I'm genuinely not in these environments regularly anymore. Me and you were on the stream grind, so I'm both on both spectrums, right? I'm not in high schools in modern day, so I have no clue what the kids are doing now. I'm not on college campuses, so I have no clue. Like, even on the authoritative left end, I don't know. Like when you hear about the biggest of like left end snowflakes and them freaking out about like, policing everything from speech to being offended through like surrogate means and whatnot. I'm offended for other people who are offended for what you're doing right now. Like, I have no clue. I haven't been around any of those environments. I only read the reports on them. So I, just like you, I don't even know like what a regular environment is at this point. So it's kind of tough to really say.
There's that same Vice reporter said that he was contacted by one of the students and that he was answering questions, and he's saying that like, well, they were trying to do putting their fist in the air like they did at the end of the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
I don't even know. Here's I'll link that thread. I hate this. Are you familiar with the term crypto fascism?
No.
It's a very.
So fill me in on that one. That's an interesting one.
So it's a very interesting thing, but basically, you're familiar with the term dog whistling, right?
Yes.
So your goal is you want to be able to signal to other people that you are down with the fascism, that you're hip, but you want to be able to do it in a way where nobody can really call you out on it, right? So like,
yes.
Like the white power symbol is a great way to do that.
You can't call. Okay, wait. Because you can't call it that, right? Because if you call it that, then of course it gets opposed by all the masses.
But if you don't call it that, not only do you get to signal to other people like, yeah, right, like there's the meme. But then when people call you out on it, you go, whoa, wait a second, this is totally fine.
Whoa, plausible deniability.
Yeah, exactly. The funniest thing is that fucking liberals. When I say liberals, I mean like just liberals in general, not like Democrats. Like liberals will jump in on this and they'll always try to defend the crypto fascist. The best example of this, the greatest, when I say liberals I mean centrist here, the best example of this is the fucking when they did that it's okay to be white. Do you remember that thing?
No,
you missed this? So basically,
yeah,
so basically this is like one of the best crypto fascist fucking slogans of all time. It's where a bunch of people started to spread this message online where they're like, oh, this is the greatest message. We'll just call it, it's okay to be white. And that's all they do. You post it, and the goal is that you're signaling to other people, like, like fuck BLM and fuck all those dudes. Okay,
right.
It's okay to be white. But whenever whenever people on the left would like attack these things, like, hey, like the fuck, like what's going on? People are like, oh, so it's not okay to be white? Is that what you're saying? And it's like, okay, like it's pretty obvious what's going on here. But then you get a bunch of centrist people that will unironically jump in and like, well, wait a second, it is okay to be white. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with saying it's okay to be white, and all lives do matter. What's wrong with it? And it's like, oh, like okay, and then that's kind of like how like the spread of crypto fascism is. You get like these little kind of like covert dog whistling secret kind of code shit that you message to each other, and then if anyone tries to call you out on it, you go, well, wait, hold on, there's nothing wrong with this, and then all the centrist people will dogpile in to defend you because they're completely fucking ignorant of the context of everything that's going on. Yeah.
Ignorant idiot, same difference.
Yeah.
No, the thing there, I find that so I've seen these incidents kind of play out before here, and it's usually whenever like any kind of alarming statistic, like when there's ever an example of domestic terrorism by typically statistically significant here, adult white males, right? It's like, yeah, white, and you hear some encompassing statement like white males are toxic, they are terrorists, and it's alluding to the significant statistic of when these mass shootings happen and whatnot, right? But then because of the language used and some headlines or some peak offended viral comments made, whether it be on Twitter or wherever, about these kind of things, it's like, oh, so you have a problem with all white people, huh? And then I can see where, again, the crypto people would kind of take that and spin it into some kind of wordplay garbage about like, oh, you're just mad at all white people. And it's like,
it's kind of like it's like how the populist messaging works, where basically you identify yourself as being a member of the people, and if anybody's ever against you, whoa, so you're against the people? Or kind of like what the old like neoconservative messaging was in the United States, where it's like, hey, like we love and support our troops, and it's like, okay, well I disagree with this. Oh, so you fucking hate the troops? Is that what you're saying? Like Colin Kaepernick, takes a knee in the field. It's like,
of course.
So he wants soldiers to die in Iraq, and it's like, what the fuck? How do you fucking get there? But yeah, it's this idea where you align yourself with a certain thing. People do it with the All Lives Matter as well, where it's like, okay, well, a protest to their protest, that's kind of fucked up. And it's like, so you're not saying all lives matter? You hate white people? You want them to die? Like, okay, dude, you get me. I guess you win.
No, you don't have to go that far. Like when it comes to the ones who are protesting the kneeling, it's like, so you're. Just to clarify here, you are protesting the protest. Is that correct? Yeah. So your problem, right there, you surface level observation, and it's like it's different. It's different. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I see a couple people in chat are really mad because isn't most crypto shit just 4chan jokes? Like, yeah, just jokes, bro. Yeah.
It's a joke, bro.
Man, fuck yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, I mean, times have changed. Fuck everything about social media.
Given, a lot of voices have been given, or a lot of power has been given to voices that previously didn't have the outlet before here. So, yeah, things are different now and will forever be different, honestly. So, though I will say, I'm one thing I can before we move on to the next topic here is I do think I'm not really a fan, and this is probably at a bigger picture topic, maybe later in the future, but I'm not a big fan of the whole, like, let's judge the past through a modern 2018 or modern X time lens. Because, perception of what was, for example, here.
Moral relativism. I like this topic. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, because recently I rewatched Spider-Man 1, the 2002 film. And whenever Tobey Maguire's in his, like, amateur spider suit, when he's in the wrestle ring trying to win the $300, he makes an offhanded joke that it seems really, really crude in modern sense. who got you that costume? Your husband? Peter Parker says to the his opponent wrestler that the big fat.
Yeah, like the casual homophobia.
Yeah, casual. Yeah, I was just like, damn, just casual homophobia. Damn. And like that didn't even like ding a radar in 2002, but now I'm just like that, like
yeah,
hit me with like a
or you're watching like I think it was Clerks 2 I was watching a while ago with my buddy, and I think they just casually drop like that F slur word. They just casually drop it in the movie, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Holy shit, he said it. Yeah, it's crazy. Things have changed quite a bit over the past.
But I think it's important. You gotta throw the context of time. You can't just like be judging. That's why I hate people like look at they dig through for the hit piece stuff like this. I believe it's dubbed the cancel culture. Is that correct? Where like you just like I don't know, like it's like yeah, if I don't like you, I'm gonna dig through your past and give you an unfair judging in modern context.
Yeah, so
that you have to forever live in hindsight of what you should have knew in the future for how things are gonna be judged now back then. Question mark? I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, it's dumb. Yeah. Dumb to an extent, though. Obviously, clearly, like you can look back and be like, okay, well, all right. So does that mean you find lynching applicable back then? No, that's not what I'm saying, obviously, but.
No, I understand you. Yeah, judging people in the past through the lens of current morals is pretty dumb. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we do today. The thing I point to most commonly is eating meat that people probably like in 100 years are going to look back on and be like, what an absolutely barbaric practice. I can't even believe. Yeah, it's always interesting to try to guess how things are going to change in the future, because I actually was just talking about this yesterday. We all like to assume. Well, I guess this conversation is. Oh, this is kind of awkward, actually. Have you ever heard the phrase that time travel is only for white people?
No, time traveling by people.
Basically, that if we go back in time, yeah. Well, because I was just gonna say, like, could either of us have really said 200 years ago that like we would definitely be against slavery? But I guess we would probably have a different perspective on that. So I'm sorry, but yeah. So I guess as a white person, like it's easy to think like, oh, like I would definitely be against like all these horrible things. Maybe we could point to something like homophobia, like if I go back 200 years ago, I would definitely be in favor of gay rights and everything. It's like, but would you be? I don't know. Like, we kind of get swept up in our current times culturally now. It's hard to say.
Actually, it's a fair topic. I won't back down from it.
Sure. But it's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's like evangelical Christians and whatnot. It's like it's ultimately however you were raised. Let's pause here, right? So, for example, for yourself, well, I hate to derail into being personal now, but like it's a good topic here. Why are you like non-secular / non-religious now? Is it because your upbringing was less strict? Like I feel like ultimately to really dumb it down here, most who are really religious and or Christian are typically raised as such, and they just like. It's an early brainwashing mechanism of definition of core value that never gets challenged. You don't, it's like, yeah, God's real, heaven and hell is real, and my moral system is defined by the Bible's obligations. The end. Like I question nothing. Like my fear of death is tethered to the belief that I need to go to heaven, or if I'm a bad person, I will burn in hell. Blah 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 blah. And like and they're okay with that. There's no deeper. We're done. That's the entirety of their belief. Moral compass is. And again, I'm being very very simple here, but they don't give it much more thought than that. And for some that's how they were raised, and they don't question, they move on from there. But I find that those who end up becoming secular, at least for me, I was not raised as a strict Christian when I was raised. Mine's a little bit different here, and I'm curious here if for you it was the same or not.
I was raised as an incredibly strict Christian. I would like to imagine. Yeah, I was raised Catholic. I went to Jesuit high school, so Catholic high school, and then I went to Catholic grade school. So I was in Catholic education for like 12 years.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I would like to say that at any point in society I would have become secular, just because secular people have always existed. But it's hard for me to say that. One thing that I like to say, this is kind of like a general principle of mine, I don't like to say that I would definitely do something if I haven't actually been in that scenario. So like it's easy to be, if you're an atheist today, and with my family situation and everything, there's not like a I'm not gonna like get killed for it or something, There's not like some crazy shit. It's a lot harder if I were to go back like 150 years, where being an atheist, back then, I'm going to imagine would get you a lot more social ostracization. Is that a real word? Ostracization. you would be ostracized more for being an atheist back then, you know? And your
True,
social
yes.
outlets would be probably a lot more heavily restricted as well, right? If you get ostracized
Right.
today, who the fuck cares? I'll go on Battle.net and play video games. You know, 150 years ago, if nobody wants to play with me because their parents are saying he's the freaky atheist kid, I don't know if I would have had the courage to be an atheist back then. It's really hard to say if I would have been willing to take all of those social consequences. That would have been a lot more extreme back then, I imagine, than today. Maybe that's not necessarily true. I know secularism has always existed in some form in society, and even a lot of the founding fathers were somewhat atheistic, I guess I should say, or anti-deistic at least. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but
You know what? Now you actually reminded me of probably one of my least proud moments in high school on this topic here, because it's like, yeah, would I have blah 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 back in the relevant context of time? You know, I'm incredibly anti-homophobic, right, and when I was in high school, I recall some openly gay kids getting harassed by the popular, like the jocks or whatever, and maybe because I was, I wasn't fit, or I didn't have self-esteem or anything. And what was I going to do? Fight the guys? I was going to get my ass kicked or whatever. I never stood up for them. I never I really wanted to. I wanted to tell these guys, like, you're all fucking idiots, and like, you're such petty, insecure dipshits for even trying to harass the kid who did nothing to y'all. Like, literally, like, Chad and Tanner from high school was like, hey, look at that gay kid over there, little fruitcake, whatever, right? And it's not like he's like even doing anything super flamboyant. He may have like a lisp or whatever, or like that little twang that, because you're a young individual trying to find your identity and whatnot. Nothing wrong with that.
Finding your identity while simultaneously making sure you don't stray too far outside the norm, right? Like,
yeah, it's
with
like
that weird balance of being an individual but also fitting in with everybody.
Yeah, it's beyond stupid. And it was like they were just being like needlessly heckling and being annoying, and it was like I wanted to so badly. But it was like, for once, they weren't up my ass anymore. They had a new target, because they would used to pick on me and be like, oh, where are these like Satan cards? And it was my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And they would interrupt me, my friend playing, who were not interrupting them or not even intervening with anything at all. And they would just come over and like want to fuck with our cards because they wanted to play with their new toy or whatever, which was messing with us or whatever. But they didn't. They left me alone finally, but they were harassing them. And I wanted to so badly do something, but I never did. I was scared.
Yeah.
So ultimately, was I enabling that to an extent? I don't know, man. Yeah, could be.
Something that I want to say, and I don't know if I'm slightly hesitant to say this, so I'll speak particular to my school, but I went to a Catholic high school, a Jesuit high school. I've heard some things from other people that went to Jesuit high schools. My high school was really, really, really good. I actually super value that experience. I'm really happy I went. I'm glad for the religious education I got, because it gives me perspective when I talk about like Muslims and stuff. I can kind of understand a little bit better how, religious people aren't a monolith. And my high school was actually so chill. There wasn't like any extreme bullying that I was aware of. And I mean, I was part of like the pretty nerdy group of people. I did band and played video games, so I feel like I would know about it. The most people were pretty chill. Like, I was friends with a lot of the wrestler kids. I was friends with a couple of the football guys, and even those guys were typically like the nicest, chillest people. I don't know if that's like a Jesuit school thing in general or what, but everybody at my school was pretty chill in high school. I didn't have a lot of the fucking horrible experiences that a lot of people talk about. I did do the whole, well, I also went to an all boys high school as well. So I want to say I didn't have, I had the girl drama and whatnot as well, but I can't even imagine going to school with girls for high school, like to do that drama. Like,
can't even imagine it.
Oh God, no! It sounds like you had girls and boys in school, right?
Yeah, cool.
I can't imagine like dealing with that type of drama, like while also learning and trying to be a teenager and grow up. Like, oh my God,
it's just pure distraction.
It seems like it would be a fucking nightmare. If we're being
max objective, yeah, co-ed school is just gonna cause distraction to say the least. Honestly,
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's more about what do you want out of it, right? Like, you have to interact with the other spectrum of humans eventually in the real world. So get used to it now, I guess. But yeah, okay. So my experience, again, mind you, I went to public school on both ends here. So I had a public middle school, I had a public high school. Of course, though, I was in small town, rural Louisiana. So there was like religion everywhere. There was like I don't know, probably like a 10-to-1, no, probably like 25-to-1. Church to Walmart ratio in general around this entire area. Like,
okay,
they're everywhere, right? But yeah, we did have one Catholic high school. I never went there, but from what I understood, though, the average experience there was probably fine. but the extremes were, from what I understand, actually worse. Like
Mm-hmm.
those who were the bottom of the student body there were really extreme. Like they did pills, they dealt drugs. They they would literally skip, get out of campus, go to my high school, and then deal more shit there if they wanted to. And it sounds like a typical example of you were so regressed from all of culture under some kind of religious overview from your parents for such a long period of time that the minute you got a taste of freedom as a teenager, you went buck wild and wanted everything and anything because you couldn't get enough of it, honestly.
Sure.
Again, that sounds like a stereotypical thing and whatnot, but that's to an extent what kind of happened from what I understand from my local Catholic high school.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, it's good to hear that that's not an average thing and that yours was normal and good.
Yeah, you can probably attribute it to a lot of that. There's a lot of affluent families and being middle class and upper class and whatnot in private school too. But okay, and then here's the Trihex topic. I don't have too many strong opinions on this, but you were bringing up
Yes.
whoops, hold on, I keep skipping a topic. The Amazon picking Crystal City, Virginia, and then Long Island, New York for the HQ2.
Yes. Okay. So what happened here was, if you guys didn't hear, there was a year-long search for Amazon to expand their headquarters out of Seattle. They kind of tapped Seattle for all it's worth now. Amazon, I don't know the percentage here, but they have a shitload of downtown Seattle. It's just Amazon buildings galore, and it's just causing a lot of strain on the city of Seattle, to say the least. Ask a local about it, they'll probably tell you more than I would know personally. But obviously they're running out of capacity. They want to expand to other areas and whatnot. So what happened was Bezos and company at Amazon had an open, if you will, beauty campaign contest where it's we're not going to declare where we're going to go expand to. Sell us on it. We're powerful. We're rich as fuck. We have all the money in the world. So tell us why we should put our headquarters in your area. To which over the past year they've gotten, I believe it was 153, might be the number here, I might get them wrong, different cities made bids to Amazon with their own incentives to come to their area, including lots of what's the word here, incentives to come via money being spent.
Yeah, so we've kind of talked about this in the past in regards to, because I'm more familiar with this issue in regards to stadiums being built, where basically the city will cuck itself as hard as possible, promise as many holes as possible to be fucked in for as many nights. Oh yeah, and then we'll offer to subsidize, reduce taxes, give tax incentives, give building incentives, give discounts. As much as they can to try to bring these things to their area. Yeah, of
course, yeah, and of course, statistically speaking, the stadiums weren't even that
lucrative. People would argue.
Yeah.
It ends up being more of I felt a little uncomfortable saying this because I could be wrong, but it feels like a sports ego thing where it's
oh no, for sure,
yeah, we want that city. We don't want that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that for Omaha, we the College World Series for baseball. We sometimes the Olympics do swim trials here, and it's okay, I don't think that justifies the cost of any of this, but people don't want to lose that thing that makes them feel
impulsive at times. It seems like So the search came to an end, and Amazon concluded that they're going to split it 50-50 between Crystal City, Virginia, and Long Island, New York. And what's crazy here, though, so each one's going to be getting 25,000 jobs each, being over to each of those headquarters, new areas being built and whatnot. Particularly, though, the thing about also both are getting hella subsidized, by the way. New York, Long Island alone is giving Amazon, I believe it's a 1.5 billion, and Crystal City, Virginia is giving 530 million. And then also here
in what, in tax subsidies or just in
specifically, it's that's the overall encompassing figure, but it could be
for the estimated cost and whatnot, pretty much. So,
yeah. Just going to throw out there for them, and it comes in the form of many things here. Particularly, get this one right. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of small things here. New York is giving. I don't know how they got this deal. It's actually insane here. But mind you, context here, Amazon's the richest company in the world, if I recall correctly, right now. But
and then real quick, it's Long Island City. My bad. I should have said that. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
I'm sorry. Right. Long Island City. My bad. Not Long Island. You're right. They sorry here. Every single employee that is relocating over there, you know, because it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, the locals that are going to get hired to Amazon, they might have to relocate everyone they want. But in this package agreement here, every single employee will get $3,000 in a relocation money package for the next 12 years, as long as they're employed at Amazon. That's insane.
Like $3,000 a month, or they have 12.
$3,000 a year for moving expenses, from what I understand, for the next 12 years.
Like every, I'm sorry, not a month. So like every year they'll get another 3,000, or do they just have 12 years to move and then they'll get 3,000?
No, the bad one, the crazy one, 3,000 every year for 12 years.
That's kind of cool.
12 years.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of jobs these are. That might be a drop in the bucket, but I mean, it's probably still nice because these probably aren't like warehouse jobs, right? These are probably all like management related jobs or engineering jobs or something.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're getting that. Bezos is getting a helipad installed under this cost from the taxpayers of New York as well. What am I forgetting here? And particularly here, I want to bring up here the fact that you know, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she was protesting it because like there's all this tax money going towards Amazon to like relocate to, you know, for winning the bid to come to Long Island City. And meanwhile, the congestion is going to happen due to the already like really, really shitty subway system is going to be really, really bad. And it's like,
wait, in New York City? I thought people like those. I try to figure out like what's going on. I get really mixed reactions. I try to figure out. I've heard some people tell me that New York City has the best subway system in the world in terms of like efficiency and whatnot. Then I hear other people tell me that like, oh no, it gets delayed like a motherfucker. I live here. It's actually shit sometimes. Have you done? Okay.
I haven't personally, but I heard it's terrible. I heard it's like
sure. Yeah, I get like very strong opinions on like both sides of this. So yeah, maybe people only say it's really good if they're comparing it to only other American transport. Have you been to another country and done like public transit or?
No, but I've heard stellar things about Japan's transit. You know, it's in general the fact that we are so dependent on this might be a case of like lobbying here. Maybe America, maybe USA is like too big to really make like, you know, a competitive metro feasible nationwide. Who even knows, right?
Yeah.
But I know that like, you know, we're so proud of our car industry or automotive industry that like it wouldn't surprise me if like there's been decades of like shadow lobbying to make sure that doesn't really happen because we got to keep our cars as a top necessity for, you know, us and whatnot. One
thing that like because I live in kind of like rural America, right? Your area is pretty rural. You don't have like big public transit anywhere, I imagine, where you live.
Oh yeah, it's garbage here.
Yeah.
We got a city bus, and that shit barely covers anything worthwhile.
One thing that surprised the fuck out of me is I went to stay in Poland for 3 months, and being an American, I figured Poland is a shitter country, you know, poor, not nowhere near as glorious as America. I stayed in Warsaw.
Oh, here it comes.
Holy fuck. They have like, you can go. I stayed there for 3 months and I never needed a car or a taxi ever. Like I could get to any part of the city I wanted to at any hour of the day. You know, late in the middle of the night, I might have to wait like 12 minutes, but there were like trams and subways, or not subways. There were trams and buses that were just constantly running all throughout the city. And even without being able to speak Polish, which I'm not even fully convinced is even a real fucking language. But like you look at like a sign and like you could figure out all the different lines and you could figure out where single thing was going. And oh my God, it was like amazing. And you know, Europeans and chat are laughing at me because apparently this is just true of every European city.
But
like,
this is
just like standard. But like I couldn't believe it. Like I could get anywhere I wanted to in the city in like less than 30 minutes just by going on a tram or going on a bus. Is insane to me. Holy shit.
You know what's really cool about that too? Actually,
what?
The coolest part. Can you imagine being a minty fresh 17-year-old, 18-year-old getting their first job and not having the burden of having to get like a $4,000 to $6,000 vehicle?
Mm-hmm.
Or the classic American young worker trap where it's like, I need a vehicle to be able to have the additional range to go to get a job that I really want to get. But because I don't have the vehicle, I'm stuck working at places where I can only walk to reasonably, and I can never accumulate enough money to buy the car to get the better job. Mm-hmm. So it's just a cycle of like,
getting
you know, I need money for a car, but I need a car to get money. And it's like, if you live out in rural Nowheresville and you don't have a car and shit credit or no money saved or both.
And then there's the whole poverty has interest thing too, because chances are if you're poor, you're not getting a $6,000 car. Chances are you're getting or at least for me, it was like looking for like a $1,500 to $2,000 max car. You're trying to find that one diamond in the rough, that 130,000 mile Honda that hopefully wasn't fucking falling apart when you drove it off the lot. And then the hope is that nothing too big goes wrong with it. You know, you're driving around with that fucking check engine light on for the rest of your fucking life, praying that the fucking shit doesn't just fall out the front of the car.
You're telling me, man.
Like, oh man. And then you got to hope that like,
Cool.
Or if it
Like,
doesn't, top it off with water before you drive to work every day. Like crazy dumb shit like that, which I didn't even know was possible. But I mean, I guess it was, because that's what I had to do with my fucking carpet cleaning bag or van. Was we as we would drive, the van had problems, so we would go to the back, the water tank in the back, and then fill the radiator in the front with water to drive it for a little bit until the water burned off, and then you'd have to refill it between jobs. But yeah, the fact that like if anything breaks down, you're totally fucked too. Because owning, my uncle's going through this. I bought a new car and I haven't had any major repairs on it. He's got a shitty truck, and he's probably spent like $10,000, $15,000 of work in it over the past 2 years because of different things going wrong with it. And it's like, damn, dude, that being poor fucking sucks. It's more expensive sometimes than just being wealthy and buying the nice thing.
It really is. It really is. There is definitely some great statistic there about how it's more expensive to be poor than the other way around. I mean, we don't have to even. I mean, just flex some quick stats here. I believe 70% of working Americans are living check to check. Yeah. And by that I mean they have like typically less than $400 saved for any sudden emergency. So like, sudden flat tire, that's massively terrible.
You're riding the donut. You're riding the donut for 3 months minimum. Tires are some expensive shit, man. If you're poor and you fucking pop a tire, that's like fucking $150. Holy shit. Or you get like some shitty used tire if you go to like a fucking, I think if you go to a junkyard, sometimes you can pull off like used parts from cars and shit if you have like a mechanic friend to go through. Oh man, fuck that shit.
Oh yeah, it's terrible, man. Oh, you're not lying though. Yeah, but 70% living check to check, $400 or less saved for any kind of emergency whatsoever.
Credit card payments you're making every month.
50% of Americans make under $30,000 a year or less, which is crazy. And if I recall correctly, if I did the math here, I might be wrong, but $15 an hour at 40 hours a week on a regular, X amount of time per year, equates to still under $30K, by the way. So like, the $15 is not even like that lucrative when once I found out that was like about $28,000 a year. It's like, yikes, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, not to mention that like the problem with a lot of like high paying stuff too that people don't realize is like, or I shouldn't say this because I've been out of the market so long, but when I was in it, if you were working kind of a shitty job where you needed more money, even if you got that raise, no one's fucking hiring you 40 hours a week. At all the places that I work, they would very specifically like, I'm scheduling you for like 31 hours a week, and if you go over, I will fucking kill you, because at 32 hours we have to start paying you like full-time benefits and shit. Like you will never be scheduled full-time at a job like that.
It's always like 31.99.
Yeah, or 31 point, I think 7.5 because the clocks would round on the machine. But like, yeah, they would never schedule you enough to actually get full-time benefits or have to pay you out like full-time. And that shit would never fucking happen. And overtime,
I've heard horror stories actually about whenever what was an Obamacare mandate that was made for all employees under his administration? There was a certain thing that happened that all businesses had to like offer, right? They all had to offer some kind of health insurance, like for real at some point about administration. And when that happened, I heard it was a massive spike and just perma-contracted people.
That people are abusing contract labor too much. Yeah, that's a big meme that is kind of getting talked about a little bit more. But basically, yeah, like I'm not going to W-2. I'll just 1099 you forever.
Forever. Oh, dude, yeah. That also requires a full discussion, though. That's definitely that's a really, really, really toxic thing.
Oh yeah, God, so I guess circling back, it's kind of scary that some companies have so much power that like cities will do anything to kind of bring those companies to like your city. I mean, I can understand the struggle being part of Omaha. I think we lost, is it ConAgra left and took a lot of jobs with it. So it's pretty sad if you're kind of stuck in I don't want to say middle America, I guess, because I don't know how far Long Island City is away from like New York City proper or anything. But yeah, people try real fucking hard to bring jobs and shit to your area, and it kind of sucks how like the workers there end up feeling like really shitty because like, wow, like our city, we're kind of fucked and we're not making much money, and now all these tax breaks are going to this huge company coming in, and then traffic and everything's going to get fucked in those areas. And like, yeah, it is in New York City.
Above all though, is that freaking Amazon's insanely rich. They don't really even need that. That's the crazy part though. Yeah. They're getting all these benefits, and it's like they're already mega rich.
Wait, is Long Island still a city in New York City? Hold on, I'm getting confused. Do you know? I'm not gonna lie, I've got an aunt from there and I've been there before. I still don't know how all like the boroughs and everything work. Okay, it is in New York City. My bad. Okay. Holy shit, that's gonna be like fucking ultra congested, isn't it? How the fuck is that gonna work?
Yeah, that's why people are freaking out, man.
Holy fuck! Oh, I thought this was in what do you call it, like upstate New York, like away from all the.
Oh no, this is like in the nitty gritty.
Damn.
That's why everyone's mad, because it's going to be like the subway now is already like, again, from what I understand, has not been updated in 30 years, and the rats are eating pizza is what I'm hearing. Like it's that bad. Like it's been needing. I remember reading a thing about there's no air circulation. Like there's like no like it's so dated that there's not like a modern air circulation of some sort down there. So smells just linger. So it smells and looks like shit with rats everywhere. Is what I hear. So, well, like literally TMNT. Like you got Donatello like down the corner at some point if you go down there.
Have you ever been to Seattle?
Yes. But for PAX.
Someone
PAX
in
West.
chat just said this. People are saying that Seattle has the worst traffic in the country. Do you think that's true? Have you driven around Seattle a lot, or?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Do you think it's worse than LA, or do you think I'm just traumatized from LA? Because Seattle traffic has never seemed that bad to me. But then again, like driving in LA makes me want to kill myself.
It's the rampant amount of construction, man. Like there is a violent amount of construction going on. Because again, I don't know if they particularly it's Amazon, but Amazon has a shitload of buildings where they're being retrofitted for Amazon executives to use, or they're expanding out of control and they're running out of room, and they just keep using more and more shit. They're just using all the money to like renovate to make things Amazon applicable. And there's just a lot of construction.
I remember I would make fun of my friend whenever I visit her down there, because like there were like you could stop at any fucking point in Seattle and you could see at least 30 fucking cranes in your vision. I don't know if that's like part of it, but like it blew my mind. I was like, the whole fucking city is like constantly under construction. I don't understand. Like, yeah, I never got that. Every time I've been to Seattle, there's like literally like anywhere you look, you can see like 50 fucking cranes like working on something. Like, yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, people are not happy about it, honestly. It's really, really bad over there. But you're saying is traffic worse in LA? Well, LA is just like, you know what you're getting into when you're in LA. LA just has like a population, I don't know what to call it, crisis or whatever, but like when you have congested. Like, yeah, what is it? How many people are in it? Was it 20 million or live in Los Angeles? Is that correct?
I
don't know. I'm getting the number wrong here.
Metropolitan population.
But like you got whatever. Like, let's say it's 20 million hypothetically, right? If it's 20 million, you got to think here like the surrounding 5 suburb cities are all coming in and out there anyway. So it's just a giant clusterfuck no matter what you do. Like
13 million.
You make it. You have a 7-lane highway on both directions, and there's still going to be like 2 accidents every other hour to fuck shit up and whatnot. And I've seen. Okay, so I can talk about LA. I've been to LA a shitload at this point. Dude, I've seen, if your car breaks down on that highway, like there is never a time for you to like move your car to the shoulder. You are stuck. I saw a guy, his car broke down. He was in the middle lane. He was on his roof. His roof was open. He was on his roof, sitting on his roof with like a little flag, please don't ram me because I can't move my car right now because there's never a time for me to move my car. And it was just like, until a cop comes to literally force an escort to happen. Yeah, things can get resolved. So yeah, accidents back up really, really easily.
Yeah.
Unless you take that new coast side toll road. I don't know if you heard about this one out here. It got finished, I believe, in 2013. But it blew me away actually. There's a part where you can go from like south to north LA. I think it might be one way or maybe both ways. Probably it's both ways, honestly. It's $16.50 for a one-way toll, but you get a beautiful coastline view. And you can get to north-south LA really quickly.
Wait, really? People are saying 110? Was this there when I was there? I've never.
I saw it. I literally, it was because in 2013 I rented a vehicle thinking I'd be able to save money versus Ubering. Big lie right there. And I saw that. By the way. I saw it, and like only Porsches or above flew in there. Like it was clear, like you clearly saw 1% only go in that thing because who else can afford just casual, $16, one way to get to North LA quickly and whatnot.
There was I noticed how hard they go in their toll lanes. Like they have like or not toll lanes, but like they have like a HOV lane. But in order to drive in the HOV lane, you have to have a pass that you pay a monthly fee for. And if you have a pass that you pay a monthly fee for, anytime you drive in the lane, you get told as you drive through it. Like,
correct.
Holy shit. That's like fees on fees on fees. Like, damn. And you need a fucking friend. Holy shit.
Don't forget the part where you also need to buy the $20 little thing in your windshield to be able to do the quick pass as well. Yeah, but you're not wrong though. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But same time though, it's like if you want to get anywhere relatively quick, it's what you got to do. Not only that, but there's also a study here too that we're getting to a point now with such Uber and Lyft and rideshare app congestion that's actually causing traffic to get worse. Like it's supposed to help, but it's just making things get worse. Like we are beyond the means of like having automobiles tethered to a road capacity ever fix congestion at this point. We need, I hate to say the cliche Simpsons episode here, but we need a monorail, or we need a fucking godlike
some sort of
metro.
functional public transit, yeah. But you'd have to tear up like half the city to do it and stop everything. Yeah, it seems like really difficult.
Yeah, it's always a problem, right? Yeah, you need like a year in like crypto sleep in order to like make everything not shit or something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's also minor derail here, by the way. But it's also why you're the rise in Uber has gotten so big now. I don't know if you heard this actually, but Uber recently revealed they're doing a Netflix type subscription service where you can get, I think it's 10% off all fares for a flat fee. So like it's like $9.99 per month in most cities, but in New York it's $14.99, and then in LA it's $24.99. But yeah, like there appears enough people to actually do this now. It comes out, I believe, 2019.
Nice.
You didn't hear about it?
No, I hadn't heard about it. I don't Uber, but that's interesting. It's not surprising to me.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's enough power users for that plan to be feasible to increase user usage.
Yeah, I mean, I know people now that use Uber and literally like it's crazy because, fuck, did Uber exist even 5 years ago, or like was it even used that much? I'm trying to remember, when did Uber start to become like popular?
I'm not sure. I do remember I deliberately did not rent a vehicle in 2013 when I went to LA. So rideshare was around that time, but I learned really quickly that the hard way, and this is kind of really relevant to your point right now though, but like sure, you can rent a car and that might be cheaper than Ubering, 4 to 5 times a day when you're out in LA doing shit. But where are you going to store that car at? Dude,
yeah,
finding parking in LA is garbage, dude. Like, there was a point where I literally went on Yelp to look at shopping centers to find if there was like, is there free parking? Like every shopping center I saw would get like a 1 through 5, depending on like how cracked out parking prices were. Like, oh, it's so stupid, dude. God.
Yeah. So Uber,
$8, by the way, $8, like starting at $8 for 2 hours. Like there was no like 15-minute tethered point for some of these parking spaces.
Uber,
actual robbery.
Uber was founded as a company only 9 years ago, and I'm pretty sure 5 years ago it wasn't that popular. But like today, I know there are people that use it literally on a daily basis. Like people living, like Andy's in chat, and he uses it like on a daily basis. I'm pretty sure, and I know a lot of people like that in LA now. That Uber almost all the time. It's pretty crazy how big that company became. Yeah. And
in some cases, actually, it's cheaper than maintaining a car.
Yeah, well, again, like friends will Uber to places, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll drive there and meet you, and then I have to get there early or whatever, or like I'm going to be parking 10 minutes away sometimes, and then having to walk. So yeah,
that's crazy.
All right, so
yeah, for sure, both Uber and Airbnb, I believe, debuted around the same time, and both are now comfortably multi-billion-dollar companies now.
Probably, yeah. And then they're positioning themselves for that car, the electronic car shit too, or the AI driving car shit, the automatic shit. Oof.
Oh yeah, well, Uber's done for that one though. There's been a couple of crashes with their limited pilot program on the automated driving thing, and it's because like the software's not there yet, honestly.
Yeah.
Like but that's actually a really good topic. I'd love to dive into further because I can actually talk a lot about that because I went to CES, Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas every January. I attended in 2017, and I learned a lot about the automation arms race going on right now between Intel and Ford and Audi and a few others right now.
Yeah, that are trying to like nail down the next like automatic driving.
Yes, I can tell you more about that. But I'd love to. We can do that with a bigger topic another time.
Sure.
Because I can flex some things right there.
Okay, that was the that's all I got for major topics. Do you want to go through the Reddit thread and just kind of like pick out questions or?
Ooh, yeah. Let's do that.
There you go. I'll shoot you the link.
See. Yeah, hit me with that.
There were a couple okay ones. A few.
I saw a lot of good ones. But I guess maybe my good and your good are like, I saw some like obviously non-troll ones. So I was like, okay. Crap. Do I have to
I'll start. I'll just start.
You give me one that you like here.
Sure. So here's an interesting one. What's the biggest change you've seen in yourself in the last year, and then what's the biggest change you'd like to see? For me, the answer to that is I've gotten a lot better at managing business-related stuff. So delegating tasks behind the scene is easily like the biggest improvement that I've made so far. In terms of that and networking more, I try to like talk to more people and reach out and not like live in my own little corner of the internet. So I'm talking to you now at TwitchCon and whatnot. I try to hang out with people like Greek and whatnot more. People that I think I would normally get along with anyway. But I think I've made big strides in those two areas. In terms of biggest change I'd like to see, I like the path that I'm on right now. I think I've been doing pretty good recently. Once I move to LA, it'd be cool to do a lot more IRL stuff. I think getting my IRL set up a little bit more solidified. I've been going back and forth on whether or not I should buy one of those fucking backpacks. I'm just not sure if it's worth it or not. But it's something I'm gonna like.
The thing about that, I think the backpack's worth getting here. The problem is the maintenance on it. Do you know what it costs to make that thing work?
Like your monthly fees?
Yeah, it's like $500 in monthly cellular fees because you need 4 to maximize stability of connection. It's heavily advised you get 4 mobile hotspot, whatever they're called.
I thought you could do it for like $200 to $250 a month. Is it really up to $500 a month?
That was a quote I had one time. I mean, the thing here is you need 4 of them, and you ideally want them from 4 different providers.
Carriers,
so you're not getting some kind of bulk rate discount here.
I wonder if it would be possible. I would have to float this by like the gun run or something, but like a lot of companies will. So for instance, for Verizon, I have unlimited everything, and I pay $45 a month, I think, for my island.
You have grandfathered unlimited?
No,
Dude.
they have special business accounts, but because I own an LLC, I was able to qualify for one. I wonder if it's possible to use a business to get like 4 and you also have a minimum line requirement. I have to have 4 lines on my plan in order to do it because it's a business plan. But like I wonder if you could get like 4 different business plans using a business and then divvy those up among streamers and just have them pay a monthly fee. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? To be fair, honestly, you really only need the let me pause here because let me clarify that. You don't require the 4 different modems in order to like really bang them out. That's more if you want your connection to survive in areas of heavy congestion.
Well, you need
such as a convention. Like if you're if you're at BlizzCon, you got like what freaking 30,000 cell phones all in that one area. Of course, you're not gonna be able to give me a signal.
Yeah, I think you need the backpack. You need all 4 ones. Like anybody can stream off of one, but the coolest thing about the backpack is all of the redundancy means that you can have a high quality stream no matter where you go. If you try to rely on just like one carrier, you're gonna hit a lot of like down spots and whatnot. I think getting all
for sure.
Yeah, getting all of them is important. Oh yeah. So what was your answer to that question? So what do you think is the biggest change you've seen in yourself in the last year? What's the biggest change you'd like to see?
Biggest change I've seen in myself in the last year is definitely the more courageous towards doing new content. Namely, honestly, a year ago I didn't do any podcasting actually. I wanted to stick to my lane and just do more and more speedrun stuff, more video game stuff, and I never thought of like I'm Trihex, the speedrunner who plays the games I play or try to play them really, really well. Less so Trihex, the streamer, the person who has these political views or has this delightful commentary that I'm known for or enjoyed for. And I've actually done a lot more all-around adventurous content, being less in my comfort zone in a lot of ways. Particularly, I mean, even now, like this podcast thing here was like, I was excited. I'm not sure me in 2015 would have said, yeah, I've been like, well, I don't know. Destiny's really smart and I'm not as well rehearsed on all these things here. I don't know if I'm really ready for the big time, but yeah, no, me now, I'm like, I'm 29. I'm less stupid. I'm more excited. I don't know, maybe more content fully ambitious, I guess.
Sure.
So I think I've been really happy with that actually, all around. Because cool. Like and not to make it maybe too on the notes here to quantify that, but like in the past, I find a lot of streamers, right? You do like your core content, your core draw, whatever you're like really, really known for, and you get debatably your peak view count at that time. But when you do anything else, you drop off big time.
Depending on what you do, yeah.
Depending on what you do and whatnot, right? But I what I'm really happy about now is that I'm pretty consistent on no matter what I do. So I don't have like directory viewers. I have viewers who come for the big T hard, big Trihex. Big try hard. Yeah. That's really, really awesome. So I feel like I'm in the right direction doing that long term, with the stream game and whatnot. And biggest change I'd like to see, schedule. My time management's absolutely garbage. Got to get better on that. I have not been. I've been every day. I say I'm gonna be up at 8. I'm gonna be at the gym by 10. I'm gonna be home by 1. I'm gonna be live by 2, and that happens like not even 1% of the time. It's always like some bullshit. Whether it be, again, reading the phone on social media or just like something holding me up and whatnot. And it's like, I have to kind of like really figure out how to really be better about existing in a vacuum of just like pure motivation to just like get all my shit done. because I feel like my day to day here. Again, I'm sorry, minor tangent here. My day to day is like I wake up and my goal is to get live ASAP. There's all this bullshit holding me up from getting live. How quickly can I get it done? And oftentimes I feel like I get mentally fatigued trying to get all that shit taken care of. Yeah. I usually end up skipping it. Sure. So a combination of time management and communication, because I definitely neglect. And I mean that in everything, dude. I forget to text people back. I forget to reply to emails. I forget to like, my DMs are always like to hell and back and whatnot. And it's like, I got to get better on like just doing that, honestly. Like, it's crazy.
So do you say going forward, your journal improvement is what? Like just kind of related to time management, or?
Yes, time management, self-discipline, being on point, definitely. I know that. You know what? Put it this way: whenever I tell my Discord or Twitter that I'm going to be live at a time, and they actually expect it, they're not surprised that I'm on time. They expect it. They hold me to a standard that's like of accountability. That's when I feel like I'm at that. I'm proud of where I am.
Yeah, that's cool.
But right now, it's like, they hit me with the, I'll be live in 30 minutes, y'all, or now, or I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever, sure. It's
5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. Gonna go grab something to eat. I'll be back in 30 minutes. An hour and a half later. All right, guys, we're starting the stream. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I tried. Here's something that I try to do sometimes. I haven't done it as well, but like I do this personally. I don't do this on my stream. I don't know why, but I do this personally. Sure. I read this a long time ago, and it's actually an incredibly fucking good idea. And if I'm meeting somebody somewhere, if I'm traveling something, if you're ever going to be late, always overshoot your estimate for getting there. And when you show up, they'll actually be a little bit cooler with it. So like if you're trying to meet somebody somewhere, like let's say you're supposed to be at 3 o'clock and for whatever reason you're running late and it looks like you're gonna get there about like maybe like 3:10 or whatever. Like if you mention like, hey, I'm running like 15-20 minutes late. If you show up at like 3:10 instead of like 3:15, 3:20, like it leaves a better impression on the person. I've noticed that like, yeah, especially like in the LA area, if I'm ever running late to something, I usually try to overshoot like the time that I'm running, and then you show up early. Like little memes like that are kind of help, I think. Time seems to slip away so much quicker though than it feels. Like I think even earlier today, like I had to run upstairs and grab like 2 things and then say something to Aaron. I think I was like, all right, I'll be ready in 4 minutes. And I was like, it seems like it should take 4 minutes, but then it's like I come downstairs and it's like 7 minutes. Like it always seems like those like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes can turn into like 45 minutes, like an hour and a half, like very quickly in a very surprising way,
It's crazy. 5 minutes is only what, 300 seconds?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's not that long, honestly.
Maybe it's like that getting older all the time is just slipping away a lot quicker,
But let me pause here though. Let me ask you a question though. Okay? Yeah. So one, obviously, lack of self-discipline might be a reason why my time management is not that great here. But I also feel like if I reflect back in retrospect on my streaming career, quote Omega Lol career, I didn't get prepared for this, honestly. Like I was still a part-time waiter working at Chili's restaurant whenever I got viral off of Mario Maker in 2015, and I got kind of thrown into being a full-time broadcaster very suddenly, and I went from like being a 600 viewer popular speedrunner to suddenly like this like 6K minimum viewer viral sensation with Mario Maker, and I had no preparation for all the things that are expected of a streamer of that size. Like Ninja or Tim the Tapman, whoever, they're live like on the dot. Some of them doing their twice a day thing because they value consistency of streaming over like just duration of a cast, so they it's like all these things I didn't fucking do because I wasn't prepared for what was to come with the overnight virality of the situation. So I'm wondering, like, for you, was it like a sudden violent boom to where you are now in terms of like being able to organize yourself?
Oh no, it's been a really slow burn the whole time. I've just been like chugging along pretty much, thankfully. Yeah. It sucks because I understand what you're saying in your position, where you had like that big boom, but you kind of mismanaged it horribly because you had no fucking idea what to do. Oh yeah, dude.
I
feel
I
similar.
can go back, holy crap!
Yeah, dude. But yeah, the closest. Thank God that didn't happen with streaming because I would feel really shitty about that. But one thing I do feel really shit about this. I don't remember if I read this video or not, but the YouTube thing that like I want to say like 8 years ago, throughout with no effort, with no promotion, no whatever. I had a YouTube channel with like 70,000 subs, and I just didn't do anything with it. I didn't know fuck all about it. If you do, I think it's like Remember Tomorrow Zero. And like looking back, if I would have put the effort into that YouTube then that I do in my YouTube today, I know I would have 1 million subs on YouTube easily without even like
dude,
a second thought. And that sucks.
I hear you loud and clear, man.
Yeah.
I literally thought YouTube was a big meme until I didn't even get how big YouTube even was until 2009. Like I could have had all my speedrun content on YouTube in 05, but I chose not to because I thought the popular speedrunning site then, Speed Demos Archive, I thought that speedrun website was like the king of content, and I had no clue about the macro picture of what YouTube's relevance was going to be at that time.
Yeah.
But I could have been like on near on not I'm not talking 06. I could have been there on year 1. I'm talking back when there was the 5-star rating system, back when like YouTube had the most garbage encoding in the fucking world, where like high quality was what it was called. It was called HQ, and it was like fucking 480p or some shit like that. I don't even know what the pixel count was back then for, but everything was massively garbage back then with the encoding.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been there on year 1, you know.
Damn.
But
yeah, that sucks.
Big hindsight.
Well, okay, so let's see what else. What do you think of the current climate on okay, go for it. What?
This one's kind of spicy. I don't know if we have a great answer for it though here. For both, has there ever been a political issue y'all disagree with each other on? Watched a few Scuff podcasts and haven't really heard much disagreement. So it'd be interesting to see both of your contrasting perspectives on something. I'm not sure there really is. I actually don't even know if I can. I've never had to challenge myself yet with defining exactly who I am politically, other than like maybe like libertarian, progressive, and or unauthoritarian.
A liberal, you're liberal, right? Yeah.
Yeah, aka liberal, right? Yeah. But the problem is when you say liberal, it's like you have to like. I find you gotta like
Democrat or whatever,
because that's such a loaded term now. Like, what does it even mean anymore? Like,
sure, yeah.
So, but. Yeah, we haven't had an issue yet, actually, which might be the worry here, is that it's just like two bros really into each other who are just gonna like, for lack of a better term here, just like deep throat each other on a podcast for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, I don't think if we do disagree on something, we're probably gonna agree fundamentally, but we're just gonna have varying like extremeness in how much we agree would probably be for most political things. But somebody mentioned this in the chat earlier. We can have third people on in the future. I just decided to do 2 for now just to keep everything kind of simple and then experiment with the format. But then, yeah, we can do. We'll probably have guests on in the future. Or we'll definitely have guests on in the future. That's something that we've planned to do. So, see any other things you really want to?
Okay, let's see here. You got God. There were so many. I got to find more to pick here. There's a couple here about the tryhard mode. If you want to hop on this one, I can.
Yeah, with the current climate of Twitch chat, and what do you think of the current climate of Twitch chat, and has your opinion on the racial use of the tryhard emote changed with the recent shift of gamers becoming more politically charged?
So let's pause. Okay, it's actually a pretty cool question here. So first thing I want to ask here is, have gamers become more politically charged? Is that actually is that a tangible observation that we can conclude?
I wish I had polling data, but I would definitely say yeah, for sure. I mean, with subreddits like Kotaku and Action existing now, and things like Gamergate being connected to conservatism and shit, like it feels like it's a lot more politically active than it used to be. Yeah.
In what way though? Like, so like, is the observation here that
before like 3 or 4 years ago, I couldn't think of mainstream people that would appeal to like gamers, but now we've got like Milo Yiannopoulos, that was a guy that like tried to build himself off of Gamergate. People like Dave Rubin, I would argue, are somewhat mainstream now and have intersections with tons of other big political figures. People like, I don't know if you would consider people like Sargon of Akkad, these people like 1 million subs on YouTubes and whatnot, like that talk about politics, that deal with gamers. It feels like gamers have taken a much bigger spotlight. Well, I don't want to say spotlight, but are becoming a lot more.
That's a valid thing, because sure. The one thing I could say is very tangible is, if I recall correctly, is the modern YouTube algorithm. It is very easy to get in the I don't know if I want to call it the entirety of alt-right, but to get on these right-wing conspiracy videos. Like it does not take much. Like you can pretty easily, within 3 related videos, be in the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Or yeah, PewDiePie having Ben Shapiro on his videos now, or for like a meme guest. Yeah. So yeah, I mean.
Okay. All right. And then also, yeah, I mean, also context for all the new homies here who don't know who I am exactly. I'm actually kind of a I guess you want to call it like a gaming virgin, if you will. I have because I speedrun, or I've been speedrunning for so long now, I have minimal exposure to the modern online climate. So I don't play any MOBAs, I don't play any MMOs. I barely play any modern online games. I have not played any of the following: Overwatch, League, or Fortnite. Not because I'm opposed to them, because I haven't gotten around to it or whatever. Not a particular priority, but I probably should at some point, right? But yeah, I so I'm completely like foreign to what modern online gaming is like. I hear it's pretty toxic, shocker, but My last routine of being in online environments was probably when I was into competitive Halo 3 about a decade ago. Before I was streaming in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very, very, very not in the loop on all this stuff here. So if I comment further on anything about online gaming, keep in mind it's going to be a huge grain of salt, only what I've read, but not what I've experienced myself personally.
Sure.
But
that's really interesting that you say that. I don't know if I brought this up before, but I always thought it was kind of weird that when I'd go to gaming events sometimes in the StarCraft world, I'd always kind of feel like the nerd there because there were a lot of people who were there and literally all they fucking played was StarCraft. So it's like, hey, dude, did you like fucking Fallout 3? That game was so sick. And they're like, oh, I didn't play it. It's like, oh, did you check out like the new BioShock? Like, I've never played any of those. It's like, oh, do you know who Zelda is? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay, never mind. I guess I'm the only person here that plays something besides fucking StarCraft.
Yeah, you're a StarCraft fan. You're old officially, according to the metrics, right?
Yeah.
Based off of how many users are still really into.
StarCraft is an alive game. I was at the summit. There's a lot of people that play that game. Okay, it's making money. It's doing well. Fuck you. All right.
Hey, look, I'm not in denial here. I'll agree with you. It's just that whenever, at face value, knowing none of the facts here, you hear that StarCraft 2 went free to play at some point. You're just like, oh, that's a desperation move.
Hey, that's bringing it in line with the times. Would you say Dota was desperate for being?
No, the difference there is the perception
Next topic.
there is that.
What were you gonna say before we got into this?
All right. We were gonna answer this question here actually. What do you think of the current climate of Twitch chat, and has your opinion
on the tryhard emote
change research? My opinion. Oh, it's such a big question here. I actually, to be totally honest here, I don't think I consume enough Twitch and enough of the different ecosystems within Twitch to actually know how tryhard is used. Here's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. In my own community, and obviously I'm biased because it's my own fucking face here. My own community, try is not a problem. Tryhard is obviously associated with me, with the play on the word try hard. Obviously I try really hard, put a lot of effort into all things I do, honestly, particularly with gameplay improvements and grinding and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So everyone's like all into it. And in my community, it's very, very positive because I give off the demeanor of, I don't know, charisma and trying hard and all the positive lovey-dovey shit that comes with any emote being used well. On top of it also being a really good emote and whatnot. But I only hear about in other ecosystems the negative things. People on my Twitter, they'll mention me and be like, "Oh my god, your emote's so fucking racist." And I only get explicitly shown the worst of it. The Overwatch League spam whenever any black guys on that channel. The fact that Tryhard's banned in Cutie Pie's chat because he's and fair. When you're that big of a streamer, it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Moderation only goes so far here. You just gotta it goes from just banning racist things to banning things that can trigger or provoke racist things, even if ironic racism or whatever. So, I only hear about these things, but I don't get to witness them personally because I don't watch enough Twitch because I'm busy streaming or working out myself personally. But I do want to make some more effort when I get a chance to actually just see more of what's happening there. So I don't actually know enough on it, but if I were to take at face value that Tryhard uses very explicitly racist things commonly everywhere else outside of my own environment, that while that is bad, that's still a case of culture x moderation, and that ultimately, are you asking for empowering those who abuse that emote for racist things to call for that thing being racist? Like that's just silly to me. Like that's like a
it's a really hard thing, like you're in a school and somebody might call like the black kids racial slurs, and it's like, all right, we're gonna fix this problem. Get rid of the fucking black kids. It's like, wait, I don't know if that's like the route we're supposed to be going.
Yeah, because you take the logic and you apply to other things where you're like, okay, so my classic example here is the fact that, okay, so the eggplant emoji and the peach emoji are both fruit emojis. They were not intended for any kind of innuendo whatsoever. But obviously, everyone knows it now as the penis emote and the ass emote. And so, what, are you going to ban those two? You're going to ban two fruits randomly because of their implicable nature from a context outside of what's intended to be used for?
Yeah.
No, that's dumb. So therefore, for tryhard, it should be the same thing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the bigger picture here, and I've commented on this before here in the 2017 Kotaku piece here, but if the emote sucked, like if the tryhard emote was like just like shitty, like a lot.
If it was like a guy with a KFC bucket on one hand and a fucking watermelon in the other, or some shit, then like, yeah, maybe there's like, a strong right, but it's literally just a picture of a black person.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to make an argument that you should remove this because it empowers racism, because you're like one step removed from like, if we could just get rid of all black people on Twitch, we'd have a lot less racism too. And it's like, I don't think that's...
Not only that, what the message that sends is that, okay, so if shitters bully hard enough and abuse, unintended correlations or connotations of emotes and shit like that. If we bully hard enough here, we can actually manipulate what Twitch does. We are the aggregators, not the other way around. We are the ones provoking, and then they react to us rather than they do enforce instead. So this year it'll be get rid of black faces. Next year it'll be get rid of like Hot Pocket or some shit, like, or get rid of Mingli or some shit. Like,
yeah,
what are you gonna do? Just get rid of every emote possible
that aren't white people?
Yeah, like, what are you gonna, like, really, like, stupid. And then what's the last thing here? So yeah, my opinion on race to try hard. Answer that one. And finally, what do you think of the current climate of Twitch chat? That's a very vague question here. What is the definitive current climate of Twitch chat? Is it like terribly toxic right now? Like,
I would argue that getting rid of a lot of the IRL stuff helped. But it's hard to have like a thumb, because I'm gonna be so biased based on the streams that I visit, like how chats are. But god damn, dude, those IRL stream chats were fucking horrible. Like a couple years ago, back when like Ice and everybody was here. I don't know if we've talked about Ice a lot. I hate everybody that's like around him, but I think Paul himself is actually really cool. I don't mind like hanging out with him one-on-one is pretty cool. But god, everybody associated with him, I fucking
no, you're not wrong. The CX boys
people
are walking, breathing, organ-filled cringe missiles, to say the least.
Oh, yeah, in the nicest way possible. Cringe missiles would be the nicest way to say it. I think most of them are legitimately like fucking horrible people. But getting rid of like that whole like collection of people, I think, helped a lot. A lot of like the just chatting and the arrow people seem to be a lot more chill that exist now than what was here like a year and a half ago.
Definitely. No, and I think I still want to. I think we're bringing up a topic here now. Actually, we should at some point in the future we should have talk about the current Twitch directory meta here, about how just chatting is regularly now a top 5 directory, and has there been a nerf to the severity of IRL's problems? Yes, by dividing into 10 directories since then. But what is just chatting now? Is it IRL Lite? Is it IRL Junior? Is it not comparable to IRL? Or is its success like a calculated thing because they knew it was going to go somewhere at some point with the vague directory that could be encompassing a lot of things?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but did you get the wasn't there a partner email that went out about this?
I don't know. I haven't seen one personally. Don't worry, we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, I got an email from my partner manager. I don't think I'm allowed to read it on stream, but like, yeah, but basically he was mentioning this kind of phenomenon that just chatting has kind of become the new IRL, where it's kind of become this catch-all for literally everything that you've done. And so like we kind of managed to segregate off some IRL content from IRL, so like the ASMR people and whatnot, but then just chatting has become the new, like, well, if you're not doing anything, just put yourself there. Like I almost contemplated
not
putting
only
myself
that
there.
it's I'm sorry, I guess we're going to talk about a little bit here, but like if I were to game the system and use directories to my advantage, because if I'm in a higher viewed directory and I'm at a certain clout of average viewers, would I not want to be in a directory that's more active and gets more often? So like even in ASMR, for example, like if ASMR is not like is getting let's just say like 5 to 8K viewers, but then just chatting has like anywhere from 40 to 72,000 viewers. Even if I'm legitimately doing ASMR, if I wanted to game numbers here, why wouldn't I want to go to just chatting, right?
Yeah. It's a
which is what happened in IRL too, right? Like just
Yep. Like why would I list because we are just chatting, right? Should I have listed my thing in our podcast today, or should I have?
Yeah, we should go to just chatting. Honestly.
Yeah, because there's like 4 times as many people there, or even more actually, because we're half the like podcast section right now. So
which I'll say before, I'll say it again here, which is why podcast should be a tag and not a directory, because
nobody is ever going to go on Twitch being like, what podcasts are live now?
Let me go find a podcast, which is guaranteed to be a low tempo environment. And when I get in there, I'm probably getting there halfway in. Hopefully the motherfucker's got a toggle topic thing so I can be looped in on what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, like
that was the strongest argument I heard for people like saying that podcasts and whatnot can go in game sections, when people were like, oh yeah, if it's a Warcraft podcast, it should go into the World of Warcraft section, because like nobody is ever going to browse like a podcast thing looking for podcast, but if they are in the World of Warcraft section, they might want to hear like something related to World of Warcraft or something like that, right? Yeah. So maybe tags would be better here. And yeah.
Well, and that's just purely on a what consumers would search for. Speaking of effective thing, I guess like we have to look a little further here into like the objective like function. Are we looking for? Are we looking for it to be a better organizational tool or a better tool to actually get searched for? Which is another debate too, right? Like, should directories be a reflection of what users are looking for, or should it be the ultimate like static organizational tool, despite what it would imply for viewer numbers and whatnot? There's two different functions there, right?
Yeah.
Unless Twitch can get their shit together and like and train the average user to like, I don't know, do better. There's a lot of problems here because there's also the bigger picture, the fact that all the veteran power users of Twitch who've been on Twitch for over 5 years now, they don't go to the front page. I don't go to the front page. You know, you have your following page bookmark, and you go from there to your already existing ecosystem and bubble of streamers you like and whatnot. You don't, unless a new game comes out, you don't go to the directory. And that that's a pretty common thing. People don't even go to browse games page until, I don't know, fucking a new game comes out in general.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that used to be like the default way of surfing. So Twitch is getting better at it. I'm sure they'll continue to improve the way that they do directories and tags and everything. Their tagging system's becoming better and whatnot. So, yeah. Okay, so to try to keep this at around 2 hours. So going forward, I guess, just as like a general thing, in terms of, is this going to be a more serious podcast? Is it going to be a more gaming oriented podcast? I think the balance that we were trying to strike is like a serious but not ultra serious thing. So if there are like hilariously memey things coming up in the news, so like Kellyanne Conway saying something like the video wasn't doctored, it was just sped up, I think those are good topics that we'll probably look to discuss, you know, here, like kind of like lightly political things. Well, I mean, those are pretty heavy political, but we're probably not going to get into like let's talk about like the current state of North Korea and whether or not denuclearization is successful. Like these are probably not going to be topics that we'll bring up. And then same thing with gaming, we're probably looking into more serious gaming topics, so you know, big controversies related to gaming, huge new games coming out, stuff like that. But we're probably not going to talk about like super ultra memey stuff. What were you going to say?
No, you're right. Because there's a lot there. I mean, obviously, face value is Diablo Immortal, but I feel like it's been covered to death already and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
I already went over it on
some pretty cool topics we can get to next week.
Sure, yeah.
Particularly, I feel like we should definitely hop on the. It's always fun to shit on things. I try to, you know, maybe have some good news occasionally and whatnot, but we definitely got to talk about PlayStation Classic. I got to talk about that one, dude. That is looking like a hot pile of garbage.
Oh no! What is this, like PlayStation? Sony trying to release like a PlayStation emulator on the PS4 or something, or?
No. So you know the Super Nintendo Classic, the little miniature Nintendo that you can get that has like 40
You mean the
games
really
on
great
it?
idea that Nintendo released and only made like 20 of or whatever? Or did they actually create more of those units?
They created more. The NES Classic was the one that was like hard to find and to do a second print to beat the man.
Okay.
The Super Nintendo Classic came out earlier this year, and that was a viral sensation. Or last year, I forget when it came out honestly, but yeah, the Super Nintendo Classic came out, has 40 games on it. It's literally just a little thing about this big. You plug two controls into it. It's literally an emulator with an HDMI port in the back of it, and it's, you know, for $70, and it went, you know, also went viral and sold a fuckload and whatnot. And there are two things here. One is that Sony saw the Me Too, I Want Money Too, and they made a PlayStation Classic that's coming out for $100. It's coming out, I believe, at the beginning of December. But the final game list came out, and it's very mild and or mixed and or poor, to say the least. So I'd love to talk about that as far as gaming news goes next week, and also what the implications of the SNES Classic and NES Classic selling so well means implied forward for Nintendo, because I think there's like a pretty decent theory here about the future of the virtual console, and whether or not will VC make as much money as just continuing to milk these like nostalgia physical consoles instead. But yeah, that's all. That's something we can come to next week, though. I do love the idea of hopping on some deep gaming stuff. For sure.
Oh man, fuck! I wasn't aware of this. I kind of want to talk about this now. I'm looking. Some of these I think are good. I'm just looking at the release list. So Battle Arena Toshinden, I have no idea what that is. Cool Borders 2, hell yeah, I remember that game. Does it deserve a spot on the 20 games list? I'm not sure. Destruction Derby, I don't know about that. Final Fantasy 7, an obvious classic.
If you want to talk about it, we can talk about
it. Sure, let me just read down the list of games. Grand Theft Auto obviously needs to be there with Final Fantasy 7, obviously, right? Intelligent Cube, no fucking clue what that is. Jumping Flash, no clue what that is. Metal Gear Solid obviously needs to be there. I feel like we're getting a little overrepresented on JRPGs, but Mr. Driller, I'm not sure about that. Oddworld Apes Odyssey was an interesting game. Rayman, okay. Resident Evil Director's Cut, sure. Revelations Persona, I don't know anything about that game. Ridge Racer Type 4, not sure about that game. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, I've heard of that. I don't know much about it. Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, yes. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, yes. Twisted Metal, yes. Wild Arms, yes. Oof, you don't like this list of games? What do you think is missing? What don't you like on here? Real quick, give us your 2-minute take.
There's a couple of redundant ones on here, right? So Destruction Derby and Twisted Metal. Sounds like, yeah, it's like not really needed. The bigger picture here is that, like, okay, if you look at comparatively the SNES Classic, it's 40 games on it, but they're all bangers, dude. It's fucking bangers, like nonstop, dude. Like by comparison here. It's not like you're getting a PS Classic and then a PS Classic, Part 2. Like, this is supposed to be the be-all, end-all.
Oh, they're not releasing any more packs?
Yeah, like, at most here, 5 of the games have my interest, or even in my opinion, of the caliber of, like, the best of the library. And whether they couldn't achieve that because of licensing difficulties and whatnot, there's no Castlevania Symphony of the Night, for example, on here, if I recall correctly.
Sure.
Like, that's jarringly lacking here amongst many other things here.
Yeah.
There's also the decision here that the controller bundled with the PS Classic is pre DualShock 1, does not have analog sticks on it.
Oh.
So that kind of limits it too, because if I recall correctly, the PlayStation 1 came out in 95 and the DualShock controller came out, don't quote me on this here.
It's got to have been before 98, right?
97, 98. It's whenever Ape Escape 1 came out, because Ape Escape 1 was really just a tech demo for the control sticks.
DualShock came out in 97, yeah. Because I remember playing Metal Gear Solid with the DualShock.
So what that means is that, literally anything 97 onwards, you can't put on here because you don't have the controls bundled with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's done for, like, a nostalgia thing or not. It's like, I don't know. It's like...
For comparison, let me read the Super Nintendo list. And I've got a big... Oh, never mind. Okay. Whew! Okay. I almost going to say I had a big fucking complaint, but I see it on there. Okay. Here's the game list for the NES Classic. Contra 3 Alien Wars. Hell yes. Donkey Kong Country. Hell yes. Kirby Superstar. Yes. Kirby's Dream Course. Weird to have 2 Kirbys, but okay, sure. Secret of Mana. Hell yeah. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Super Mario Kart. Super Mario World. Final Fantasy 3. Interesting. Super Castlevania 4. Earthbound. F-Zero, Mega Man X, Star Fox 1 and 2, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario RPG, Legend of 7 Stars, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and Yoshi's Island. That is a killer list. Damn.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I wonder sometimes if they needed... I don't know if you need, like, Star Fox and Star Fox 2 on there, or, like, 2 Kirby games.
Star Fox 2 is notable because it was a unreleased game in USA.
Sure.
Or in general, and it was a bonus pack-in.
Gotcha. But
So
that's
a
pretty killer...
Unreleased.
That's a pretty killer list. Yeah.
That's a sick lineup. And by comparison, the PS Classic's like flaccid boner syndrome or whatever. I don't even know what to call it. To me, at least. Also for the fact that it's also $100 too. So it costs more than the SNES Classic, which I get. It's a newer generation than the SNES was, sure, whatever. But like, they could have tried a lot harder here. So I just question, like, to me, it's like, I only care about like 5 to 6 games on this list I find even worthy of being on a list of this caliber.
On the PlayStation 1 or the Nintendo? The PlayStation 1, right?
On the PlayStation 1, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for $100, it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't
people
seem like
in
really...
chat are saying that they literally are using like an open source emulator for this too.
That would surprise me, actually. But yeah, I would have rather them see them include DualShock controllers. I feel that's the reason why they couldn't go beyond the year 97.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just seems weird. Like if you apply that logic to like anything else here, it's like let me think here. Anything with additional hardware post the launch of a console means you can't use those games. It's like, well, then Mega Man X had custom chips in it for additional hardware. Donkey Kong Country had I believe it didn't have Super FX chips, but it had like a different thing that allowed the pre-rendered graphics to occur.
Yeah.
Yoshi Island, same thing. So like all these things that were included after the launch of a system, you have to disqualify from.
Do you remember on the Nintendo 64 how you would have to open up the front of it? Like there was like that little slot for like a memory expansion or something, and you would plug in a thing there to be able to play. I think that was for Zelda.
The expansion pack. It was for Donkey Kong 64 and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, Majora's Mask. Yeah. And I think you might have for Pokemon Stadium as well. But yeah, I remember that. That was a lot of Whew. You like some hacker shit.
Yeah, same thing there. For example, you would have to if you apply this measure of not using like the core hardware only, then those sides get removed and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like everyone would be like really really pissed off if if comparatively the N64 Classic didn't include, you know, I don't know, Majora's Mask or DK64 or Perfect Dark. But, you know, that's a different topic of the day, though, if you ever want to talk about the speculation.
Oh, yeah,
there.
okay.
But I guess if you already talked about it now, I'll just
Nope. All right, we'll go through. We
Nope.
got to save topics. Okay. Okay. We're hitting that 2-hour limit. We're at 2 hours and 4 minutes.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's kind of what the general gist of what we're going to try to do. If we got like some hyper relevant guest that we can bring on, or some very relevant guest to like a particular topic, we'll probably try. Well, we should try to get one for next week, I think. I'm trying to get a guest for next week. I think 3 people is good. If there's something like a big relevant story that we can find someone for, but yeah, otherwise we'll try to get this syndicated on some MP3 related stuff, because I know for podcasts people like to be able to get it off like Spotify or SoundCloud or something. I'm sure we'll find a way to upload it to there, hopefully by tonight or tomorrow at the latest. And yeah, you have any final words or anything for our wonderful guests and whatnot?
No, thank you all again for coming by today. I'm very excited to be here. This has been quite a long time coming. I'm very happy to be welcomed by the Destiny community alongside my boys who are in chat as well here. It feels good to have a productive outlet. I have grown really fond of podcasting, whereas I find streaming's kind of like you're putting on an act at least 1% of the time, right? To play into the perception of what you want people to see you as. And it can be kind of like draining on your social battery or mental battery. Podcasting is like therapeutic. It's euphoric. It actually like gets me hyped to stream, because I find it's very, very close to 100% native to how I would act even online. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. So yeah, I'm here to say, man, I'm really happy. I enjoed it a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely do as well. Next Wednesday, we'll be back at the same time. And by same time, I mean 30 minutes earlier. I don't know why I didn't wake up when my alarm went off today, but I woke up and it was turned off. So somebody shut it off, and it was probably the sleeping version of me. But yeah, we'll be back. We're aiming for noon CST or 1 EST, I think, on Wednesdays. So hopefully we can catch the Euro Bros, we can catch the American Bros, and everybody can be happy. And you got time throughout the day to listen to it if you want to as well. And yeah. So thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back next week at the same time.